Ace Podcast.
You're listening to Super Co-op Squad, episode 39.
The real 39.
Hey gamers, welcome back to yet another episode of the Super Co-op Squad video game podcast. I am one of your hosts, Johnny Mac, and today, as always, I'm joined with my fellow hosts, Garrett Laney.
Greetings!
And returning from his EVO 2017 appearance, Joshua the Big Red Gerard.
Hi.
Good to have you back, man.
Good to be back. I've been long gone and very excited to come back and talk about some stuff.
Yeah, we're interested to hear what happened with some of the beatdowns that you witnessed and that maybe occurred to you at EVO. And we also have a special guest with us, a longtime supporter and a good friend of Joshua, Chandler Sains.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
So it's good to have you on the podcast with us. Chandler, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Fun to be here.
Cool. Yeah, it's going to be a good time, guys. So as always, all right, so Chandler, tell us a little about yourself, man. What kind of games you play? What do you like? Who are you as a gamer?
So as a gamer, I'm mostly an action RPG, first-person shooter kind of player, though I do love, the Horizon Zero Dawn, Mass Effect, those kind of games. So at all times, I kind of keep 3 games on rotation, one of them being Path of Exile, top-down action RPG, kind of a spiritual successor to Diablo 2. And then my other would be Overwatch.
Oh. Overwatch?
There it
Did
is.
someone say Overwatch?
Oh, yeah.
Garrett has found his partner.
Garrett found a friend.
And then my third game always rotates between whatever it happens to be at the time, be it Mass Effect, Horizon, whatnot.
Anything that you're looking forward to this year or that's just blown you away this year?
I completely missed, even though I had access to the Destiny 2 beta. But I'm looking forward to seeing if it's really the sequel we wanted and are expecting the kind of content we want.
The sequel we deserve.
Yes.
Not the one we needed.
But yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I agree. I think Destiny 2 has the potential to do something really good, but who knows? Bungie kind of messed up the opening of Destiny 1, and they kind of, brought it back at the end with some great DLC.
I downloaded the beta.
Same.
Didn't play it.
Same.
Is it over already?
It was like 5 days
I believe
or
it
something.
ended, for us, the open beta was 3, just this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I didn't play any of those days, and it's over now.
Yep.
Like now.
Yeah, it's done. By the time you listen to it, it's been done for a day or two. All right, guys, we're going to get into our content. Of course, this is the spoiler warning, so before we touch base, if you want to go ahead and check the show notes out, you can look at those in the details and description of this episode. Anything you don't want to know about, you can click there and you can see all of our topics and skip past things that you don't want to know about. This week, we'll be discussing some of Joshua's experiences at EVO and kind of how that went. We'll also talk about gaming tournaments and how to get involved in local gaming tournaments in your area if that's something that you're looking forward to doing. We'll be touching base as well with the online gaming community and a brief discussion on the gaming community itself and has that gotten better or worse in time as we continue to kind of have online change and evolve. To start the podcast, though, we'll be discussing genres. So this kind of popped up because I was watching a lot of things coming out of San Diego Comic-Con.
A lot of news.
A lot of news, right? It seemed a lot bigger than other
years.
Yeah, like it was a lot.
A lot better than last year.
Yeah, it really was. But one thing that stuck out to me was the fact that Telltale Games revealed that they'll be having their next kind of, I guess, seasons of all of their Choose Your Own Adventure games. So they're going to be having the Batman Season 2, Walking Dead Season 4, and The Wolf Among Us Season 2, which is from the Vertigo comic Fable series. So when I heard this news, I got excited because I really like those games. And I realized that I like them, and I was so excited for them to come back because no one else does them. If Telltale doesn't make one, and I have to sit there on a hiatus. That's it. There's no one else making these games. So then it kind of had me spinning out into thinking about, what other genres are out there that no one else touches, that it's just this one company, this one developer, this one game, and if they don't, nobody makes it, and maybe why that is. So I'm not sure if you guys have some games that you had as examples or thoughts that maybe you wish someone else would make.
No, the note said to do homework, and I was like, nah, I got this. I'll do it off the handle.
Oh, okay.
No,
Big baller
no, I actually did homework. Real quick, though, you mentioned Telltale was the only company that kind of does this kind of genre. For the most part, that is true.
Right.
They just started, but they're not the only one. It's Square Enix just kind of started Life is Strange, which is very similar to this type of choose your own adventure, episodic storytelling.
That's actually a fair point.
Yep.
It's a fair point.
Good call out.
Now, it's a moot point because I believe That's the only other one. I can't think of any others at the moment. But so we're talking about doing genres and companies. No one else can really do it like them, or they're the only ones. Probably came up on your guys' list when you did homework, but Super Smash Brothers. Many have tried to do the brawler type, PlayStation Battle All-Stars, Brawlhalla. Everyone tries it, but no one has perfected it the way Nintendo has.
I honestly can't disagree. You're right. It's one of those games that is standing out. It's alone. Like, you're right. No one else can make one as good. Now, we have a hope, right? Because Wave Dash Games, kind of that startup company that spun out of the group that made Project M. There we go. Thank you. They're
Smash
making
Brothers
a game.
Brawl
The mod.
Yeah.
So they're making their own game that's pretty much Smash Brothers, and it looks awesome. It looks like what we want from Smash Brothers, and I think they'll do justice to it.
It looks like a 3DS Smash, like Brothers without the Smash characters.
Right. Yeah. So, but you're right. No one
We'll see
else.
how that does.
Yeah, it's free to play, so it may not be that good. Maybe it'll go League of Legends style. Who knows? But yeah, no one else really has perfected that. So it's a good one. So Chandler, you got one?
Well, during my homework, the main criticism that I saw from fans of Telltale games was that you're presented with choices. However, how exactly impactful are those choices really? Does it really change the story? Or is it just little frills that it changes? Is it maybe a dialogue that changes instead of something else? And in going through those comments and trying to research this further, a lot of people would say, look at The Witcher. That's 3 separate endings. Wow. I mean, The Witcher, what is it? The Witcher 2 has technically 16 endings and The Witcher 3 has 36, being 3 main story branch endings and then different character states and relationships within that. And it got me thinking, other games where your choices matter and are heavy on story. I mean, Skyrim, you can choose where you want to go, what you want to do. But then one that stood out to me, and I remember watching Markiplier play through it, was Until Dawn. It's a horror game where you can wind up the sole survivor or everybody lives or anything in between. Every choice matters.
Free on PS4 right now, by the way.
That's
with PlayStation Plus members.
Sony's not paying us.
I don't want to tell them on the subject.
Yeah. That's a good point, and I think So I think the thing is that Telltale, their game is literally only choice, and these other games, the choice is involved in the game. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing either way, but it just seems like Telltale maybe only has that as the option. Like, for instance, you talked about Witcher or Until Dawn, or even Mass Effect, or like I said, Elder Scrolls. You can go anywhere, do anything, make any choice. But I never feel in those particular games, or it's not all of them, but many of them, like the immediate consequence of my action. So like in a Telltale game, you got a timer, you've got like 8 seconds to figure something out. And I'm like, oh God, should I pick A, X, Y, B, not know what to do? And I don't ever feel like that same like tension of choice. But I guess it's just a matter of the fact that is the point of a Telltale game and not the point of Witcher or Until Dawn. But you're right, they do have a lot of choice in there, so I can't dispute that at all.
But on that, when you make that sudden choice, that you're forced to make that choice in a very, very time limited situation, how much does it actually affect the game? Because that was the main criticism that I saw, was that
in my experience with Telltale, which is not large. But the choices that you make, by the end of the game, you end up in the same place, no matter what choices you made. The people that you're with, what happened to your character, maybe your character lost an arm for whatever reason, that stuff still stays, but you've reached the goal, you've reached the end point, until either next season or, maybe that's the end of the story. So I do believe there is that kind of instant choice making kind of repercussions or consequences. But at the end of the game, I suppose there's not that big a difference.
Yeah. Johnny, you pointed out in a previous episode that these developers give you the illusion of choice, where you're making these decisions that impact, as you just said, Garrett, the immediate sequence, but the end game is usually the same minus 2 or 3 things that are
right.
Like Mass Effect 1 really didn't impact Mass Effect 2 at all. That ending, you see that in Mass Effect 3 a little bit, but in the end, you're like, okay, so that really didn't do much for me. What else am I going to do? So we'll see if anything changes going into these new seasons for their games.
Yeah, I mean, again, I can't dispute the fact that you're right, both of you, Chandler, Joshua, that the illusion of choice is not choice. So does that kind of, I guess, make their games a little bit shallow? If you really take a hard look at it, you're right. But when you play in the immediacy, that's where I'm liking it. But
yep.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It really depends on the gamer. If you're more into like a story driven game where there's not much gameplay, I suppose, in this game, there's choices, and a lot of people enjoy the choices that you make or the dialogue options, seeing, cool hints at, towards something, or, how a character interacts with another. Not every game can have that, where when you're playing these other choice games, Mass Effect, Skyrim, you make a choice, you're set down that path now. That's kind of it. There's no dialogue really. There's no, oh, I've met this person, that person now does this for me, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, you're all hitting good points here. And as much as I love these games, I'm thinking of another fact that I hadn't thought of before. These games are all based upon other companies' properties. These games don't exist unless they get contracted to work with Jurassic Park or Borderlands or
there's no original IP from Telltale.
Yeah, so that makes a little bit of a problem for what they can do, and some limitations. That's
I would argue that's a lot of their pull, though. Like, to be in this Batman world and make choices, or to be in Borderlands and see kind of that world expand. I would say that's a lot of pull that Telltale has, where, sure, Square Enix has Life is Strange, and that's their own story. They can do whatever they want with those characters, that town, that city. But it's characters that not a lot of people know. It's characters that a lot of people can come to like, but it doesn't have that kind of groundswell, the ability that Telltale has.
Yeah, you're right.
And what I wanted to add to that is, or at least to this discussion, is that the problem is either you're given choice and it feels like, oh man, I got to make this choice right now. And then it doesn't impact the way a lot of gamers want from a choice-driven game. They want to feel the consequence. They want to see it in a more substantial way. And then the games that do have choices that make serious storyline, what ending you're going to get, but you have no clue. It's not clearly stated. And it's trying to find that perfect masterpiece that blends immediate choice with lasting and obvious and consequences that you can see at every step.
Yeah.
Right. It's a tough line to find because, like you said, if the choice that you're going to have that's going to have an ultimate consequence is not made clear to you, then you feel cheated as a gamer because you just missed it. Like, if something happened, like, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was going to make that big of a deal. So, how can this be a game that people will kind of stick to?
Reload.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. If you're smart enough to have an extra save. If you don't, then you're just SOL. So cool. I think we kind of all figure out where you guys, one more thing?
Well, I haven't put one yet.
Okay, go ahead.
It's okay. We've been talking. I'm going to make mine somewhat light. So I think what Nintendo does with their characters, their mascot, quote unquote, is Mario. But what they've done with their characters in their franchise, Link, Metroid, or Samus, I should say, Kirby, every time they kind of take it to another generation console or system, they almost dynamically change how their next character's game is going to be, how they feel, maybe how they look, their style.
The formula.
Yeah, and you take Mario specifically, and I said the last time I was on it, they've changed how that game has progressed and how that character is played. And I don't think anyone does it like Nintendo does. You take Crash Bandicoot or Sly Cooper or even Nathan Drake, and you put them in newer games, but they feel like the same character. Where you take Mario and you play, Gary, you and I played Mario Odyssey, and it's definitely a Mario game, but it feels completely different than any other Mario game before it. Mario 64 did the same thing. Super Mario Sunshine did the same thing. Nintendo is really good at doing that where no one else can match that.
Okay, so how do you flip that and bring that back around to like what can Telltale do with that? Like, well, I think what you're saying here is that Nintendo does a good job of revitalizing their characters, making them better, even though they're kind of the same game a lot of the times. So what can Telltale do? What
Telltale is really good at is taking someone else's property and either making a familiar character and bring it to a non-familiar audience, or taking a character that no one knows and everybody really becomes likable. So they're really good at doing that. I think they should try to stretch out to do a new IP.
Well, okay, so so like if the Nintendo thing about their characters is that they are continuously remaking them to be better, and Telltale's, let's just be honest, I like them, but they're getting a little bit redundant. Like, I know what's going to happen. I know kind of how to play the game, so they can't They can't shock or surprise me the same. How do they Nintendo it up? How do they revitalize and redo the same thing?
Well, here's the problem with that is people buy a Batman game to be the iconic Batman.
Right.
They're not going to get licensed to do too much to change that character. So they're going to have to go after any IP, or unless they do their own project, that they go after a pre-established character and that's owned by somebody else, they're going to have to stick to what that company envisions that character as. They're not going to be given license to make huge changes and make the character feel completely different. I wouldn't think.
No, I agree.
They'd have to take something not very well known that's not going to be guaranteed for success, and that's going to be a big gamble.
Right,
I would only argue that just because I feel, and I can't for the life of me recall it, but I believe in one of the Arkham games they brought a whole new character. They created a whole new character. I cannot for the life of me remember who it was or which game it was.
Are you talking about in a Telltale game or
No, I'm talking about in like the Arkham games.
Oh, by Warner Brothers?
Yeah. So just to show that, game companies can make an impact in the I guess in the comic world or in the industry.
That's a tad limited though, because I think what Chandler's saying here is that, like, for instance, they're not going to make Batman kill the Joker in this game. They're not going to have Batman go rogue and be a villain. They're not going to have Batman do anything really outside of his wheelhouse to change up that formulaic strategy.
Well, yeah, they shouldn't have to. That's not what Batman does.
But what he means, I think, is that if you do that with Batman, and so you play a Telltale game, Batman's going to be Batman, then you go and play Walking Dead, and Walking Dead's going to function like Walking Dead, and you take all their games, and if you know the universe, then you kind of know where they're navigating to. And if you do 30 different Telltale games and you have 5 or 6 seasons per series, at what point is it going to are people going to stop buying them because they're redundant?
Yeah, okay.
And that's where I'm like, that's what I'm asking. Like, what can they do to change their strategy?
I don't know if they can.
Is there a way?
I think it all is just going to have to be either very different story-driven content or something like a completely new IP that you've never heard before, but it's a character that you grow to love or a story that you enjoy. Like Life is Strange, a lot of people like that because it's new, it's different. You rewind time and do things like that. Telltale has to do something like that to kind of bridge that gap.
And we'll see if they can get it done. So before we move on, any genres you guys or games that you guys think that are just that company can do it, no one else can do it, much like Telltale is? Well, I guess we argued Telltale maybe doesn't do it, but any other genres that you guys think maybe just people do it the best?
I suppose maybe not. Yeah, I guess I can fit in the genre, but more specifically, sandboxing and Rockstar. Rockstar is notorious for, well, is that the right word?
Infamous?
No, because I don't think that's also the right word either.
Iconic? I don't know.
Okay. Rockstar is known for having these large, open, expansive worlds, and they've been able to set them in different eras. You have Red Dead Redemption Western. You got L.A. Noire with a 1940s detective work.
You got it right.
And Grand Theft Auto can be anywhere from the 80s to modern day. And they've found a way where you can really kind of experience this world and how it was. Go lasso up a guy, bring him in dead or alive, make the money. Or go solve this crime. They have a way of doing it so perfectly that I don't think any other company or game can come close to. There is other sandboxes, of course. There's Saints Row, but that's not to the level of Grand Theft Auto when it comes to accuracy.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, I already talked about Nintendo, so that goes to my piece. But one thing I'm going to flip it around, as I would like to see in a Telltale-like series, would be something I wish, like Mega Man related. So there's a whole universe that you can do, especially with the Battle Network series and things like that. That's more of a thing. But I really think you can take a really good story out of the animated Justice League and somehow turn that into a Telltale-like adventure.
It'd be pretty cool.
That or Young Justice. We have ton of movies. There's ton of characters and villains. Maybe you play as the villain in a certain storyline, like in Tales from the Borderlands. I would really like to see something like that.
Nice.
I would play Telltale Justice League. I'd play the hell out of that.
Yeah, I'd probably knock it out. You got one?
Yeah, for me, it's just, I would like to see, like I mentioned before, that perfect merger of branching diverse choices with immediacy that matter and really make you think about it, but feel the lasting impact of it and see that perfect creation happen.
All right, guys, so fan favorites. Every week we pick 10 rapid-fire questions and each chose answers to see where we stand opposed and united in fandom. So play along and find out just what are your fan favorites. I believe Joshua.
Yeah, I had homework to do.
Yeah, you had a lot of homework this week.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, that's what happens when you go on a vacation. They pin all the stuff on you.
Bills
Hey,
pile up.
yeah. When you go on vacation, they do pin a lot of stuff on me.
Yeah,
chose
that
some
too.
of those.
That too. I have to. Yeah.
So what do you got for us this week?
Alrighty. So, in respect to Evo and all the tournament fighting out there, this is a Evo fighting tournament, and it's time to watch those duke it out in the final set. Who will be the victor in Evo fan faves? You're going to pick who you think is going to be the last man or woman standing. So who would win in a fight?
All right.
So Chandler, you know how this works. Round robin, starting with Johnny going around. So first up, Batman versus Iron Man.
Batman.
Yeah, Batman.
Batman.
Iron Man. Sonic versus the Flash.
Flash.
Yeah, Flash.
Sonic's got no shot.
So
Flash.
Okay, Flash. Dormammu versus Darkseid.
Dormammu.
Yep, Dormammu.
I'm good. Dark Side.
Darkseid. Starfire versus Psylocke.
Psylocke.
Either. I don't know the characters.
Starfire.
Psylocke. So Chandler, you can go with Garrett. You can say Starfire. Dhalsim or Mr. Fantastic?
Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic.
Dawson.
I got Dhalsim. Kratos or Dante?
Kratos.
Kratos all the way.
Dante.
Dante. Ryu Hayabusa, which is Ninja Gaiden, or Strider Hiryu?
Ryu Hayabusa.
Ryu.
Strider.
Ryu. Cyborg or Fulgore from Killer Instinct?
Fulgore.
Fulgore.
Booyah! Cyborg.
I got Cyborg as well. Blanca or Pikachu?
Blanca.
Oh, Blanca.
I'm gonna go Pikachu.
Blanca. And last but not least, Dan, the bane of all Street Fighter existence, or the custom Mii fighters from Smash Brothers?
Custom Mii fighters.
I don't see the Mii fighters coming out on top of that one.
You saying they do or they don't?
They don't come out.
So you
on
got
top.
Dan?
I got Dan.
Dan Hibiki.
Nah, the Mii fighters got that one.
All right, break it down, sir.
All right, so first up, Batman versus Iron Man. You guys are all Batman.
Yeah, man. You said Iron Man?
You know how much tech and suits Iron Man has? I don't know if Batman can take on a full fleet of Iron Man suits.
Easily.
He only needs one EMP grenade.
I'm sure Tony Stark can figure out how to duke it all out.
This is Batman we're talking about.
I understand.
Yeah, I
that.
mean, he's going to shut Tony's suit down, and Tony's going to be dead weight.
Just remember this. If Batman finds a way to nullify the suit,
Yeah.
Iron Man's done.
Yeah, Tony Stark can't
Batman,
really fight.
Yeah, Batman will always have a way.
He might even hack it.
And the other thing is that Tony Stark is not going to have a way to disable Batman's suit.
Right.
I mean, it's not
He can figure it
tech-based.
out.
right.
I mean, he's got science, so he could probably figure it out. Maybe he has the reactor core still in him.
I think you're wrong here, buddy. You can't go against
That's why
Batman.
this is a poll.
Yeah.
So the listeners agree with you guys. They chose 52% on Batman versus 48
wow.
on
That was-
Iron
Yeah,
Man.
that's closer
It's a
than I thought
really
it would
close
be.
poll. So.
Did not think it'd be that close.
Oh, we got some good ones here. Okay, so moving along, we got Sonic versus the Flash, and I think we all voted Flash.
Flash hands down.
I mean, he time travels.
Yeah.
Just he can throw lightning. There's so much stuff that he can do that Sonic he just runs fast and eats chili dogs and spin dashes. I guess is all he have. Maybe jump on a spring.
And that's no good.
Yeah. And 77% said the Flash on our fan poll. 22% said Sonic.
Sonic.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Dormammu and Darkseid.
Okay, I have no clue why you guys chose Darkseid. Dormammu's magic base, he can put him in like a different dimension. He can.
Darkseid can do that too.
Darkseid cannot do that. Darkseid is really strong. and
Darkseid can do that. He
he doesn't have a different dimension.
He sends people to different dimensions. Do you remember what happened in Final Crisis with Batman?
I think maybe you're misremembering this. Batman, he goes to like through time. He sends him back in time. That's all that happens.
Time dimension.
Those are two different things.
Yeah. He has an Omega Beam and just a
Yeah.
bunch of henchmen.
Yeah,
And then he'll send Dormammu back in time.
And what? What then?
Dormammu
He's
will
done.
try to bargain with Darkseid.
Darkseid have come to bargain.
Okay. Well,
Right.
I still think you're wrong. I think you agree.
Yep.
Well, the fans are on our side.
Dang.
58% said Darkseid, while 42 said Dormammu.
Wow.
So really close polls on these
Boom
ones.
shakalaka.
Honestly shocked.
All right. Well, they're not. Starfire and Psylocke.
All right, so I see where you're going, Garrett, because you said Starfire.
I did say Starfire.
So you two said Starfire. What's the picture?
They're two different pages. I got to go back.
So what you're saying with Starfire, because she's more powerful, but she's not a murderer. Psylocke is an assassin. She won't stop till she kills. She's a killer.
Can Psylocke fly?
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, but she has psychic powers. Pretty strong ones.
Well,
And kinetic abilities where she can throw psychic daggers and stuff, and
Yep.
so she doesn't have to aim. She can
Yeah.
use psychic impression. So that's how I don't know.
That's where I had. She has that killer instinct.
she
Yeah.
acts with her emotions, though, Starfire.
Now that I've seen the characters and I go, oh, I can place them.
Yeah.
Definitely Psylocke.
Well, we'll find out when Starfire comes out in August and Injustice 2.
That was a cool trailer. I'm not going to lie.
How did the listeners?
55 said Starfire.
Woo!
45 said Psylocke.
In your face.
I feel like that's because no one knows who Psylocke is, but okay.
That's why.
Well, that's Marvel's fault. Or I guess Fox's fault.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, next up, Dhalsim from Street Fighter or Mr. Fantastic, of course, from the Fantastic Four.
Just because Mr. Fantastic has all of his tech and super brainy abilities, that's why I put him as a winner.
He'll analyze how best to defeat. I mean, he's a genius.
Yep.
Dhalsim's an old man. He's got the yoga flame behind him.
Yoga
He can
catastrophe.
He's got stretchy. He's got fire. I don't know if Reed
Teleport.
Richards he does got.
That's
a
pretty
teleport.
important.
So earlier you guys,
He's in a street fight.
yeah, but there's
A
nothing-
whip on Reed Richards.
There's no rules in street fight, so he can bring his tech in.
He doesn't know that there's going to be a street fight. It's on the street.
They didn't schedule this. They just met up randomly.
Dawson's just got his legs folded. He's just hovering, yoga, and then just fight.
All right.
It's an Evo tournament.
Well, I guess it all depends now on the listeners.
Yeah, 58 said Dhalsim, while 42 said Mr. Fantastic.
Have I picked all the winners so far?
I don't know. I'm not keeping track. All right, next up, Kratos from God of War or Dante from Devil May Cry?
Kratos rips beings in half and beats them with pieces of themselves.
Yes, they do,
That's
but
fine and dandy.
Dante
Son
can
of
take.
Sparta.
Son of
I
Sparta.
mean,
For
they-
some reason, I thought you were talking about Dante's Inferno,
Oh,
the game.
no, not that Dante.
Because they're very, very
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
Oh, now that makes it even harder. Oh, man.
You would choose Dante from Devil May Cry?
Dante is a
he's
son of
arguing with
Sparta, and he's, I
Yes.
mean, he comes back
They've
from
both been to hell.
everything.
They've
Devil
both been to hell
Trigger.
and back. But not only Devil
Yeah.
Trigger, well, Kratos can power up too, but Dante can take just as much as a beating from swords and bullets and things like that. I don't think Kratos has ever taken a bullet. So I don't know. I don't know if he can dodge those or really withstand all of that.
Ebony and Ivory?
Yeah, I think Dante edges out on that one.
Yeah, I'd
Because of
have to
that.
change my answer to Dante now that I know the correct character.
And then
What did the listeners say?
Would you pick Garrett?
Oh, I picked Dante for sure.
okay, so the listeners, I have 69% on Kratos, just under 30 on Dante.
Get out of here, you guys. All of you.
Doesn't mean we're wrong. Next up, Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden or Strider Hiryu, of course, from Strider, Marvel vs. Capcom, things of that nature.
I still kind of, again, the murder thing, like Ryu Hayabusa is a born and bred assassin ninja.
Yep.
Ultimate Ninja.
Yep. He's going to drop all day.
Plus his game was hella hard.
Does Strider not kill anything other than robots?
I mean, he does, but not like
Not like Ryu.
Not like Ryu.
I just figured with his assists and all, you got the Falcon and the Wolf.
yeah,
a dog.
You got the types. Yeah, you got the Jaguar, but
Man,
I just want to point out that all of a sudden it's okay to have assists and stuff and dogs help
that's
you
part of
for-
his fight.
for Strider, but Mr. Fantastic couldn't use his tech.
well, because they're always with him.
Okay.
and then also Ryu was in a Dead or Alive tournament. Strider was not.
Okay, well, Strider was in a Marvel vs. Capcom, Two Worlds,
Great comeback.
New Age of Heroes.
Well, listeners, 80% chose Ryu, while 20 chose Strider.
You're striking out at the end here, Garrett.
Yeah, you're on a roll, and now you're just rolling downhill.
You had to say something.
Next up, Cyborg versus Fulgore. So we're split 50-50 on this one.
Honestly, just Fulgore's good character.
Yeah, Cyborg's cool too, but
I mean, Cyborg's got the mother box. He's got boom tubes. He can probably hack Fulgore.
yeah, I was gonna say that he's got the tech, and I think it'll be a good fight. But Fulgore,
And he's still got heart. Actually, no, I don't think he does.
Yeah, he's got very few organs left in his body.
He's got an eyeball and I think a little bit of his face skin.
and some skin. That's all he's got left.
Maybe a brain. So, again, 80% on this one chose Cyborg and 20% on Fulgore.
All right.
Next up, Blanca versus Pikachu. Of course, Blanca's from Street Fighter as well.
I mean, Blanca is this scary green-looking beast. Yeah, Pikachu's not hurting him.
Now, I assume we're talking Ash's Pikachu.
It does, sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
We'll
Then
talk
I'm-
Ash's Pikachu.
Then I'm sticking with Pikachu
Why?
because he ain't never died. He ain't never died.
But he's lost quite a few battles.
Yeah, and
Well, electric doesn't hurt Pikachu.
That is
Blanca's
not true.
Oh, right. It's just not very effective. Blanca has non-Thunderbolt attacks as well.
So does Pikachu. Skull Bash.
You're going to Skull Bash Blanca? No. No, he's going to roll your ass over.
I mean,
And
Blanca,
then eat him.
Blanca can't have that much PP left.
Okay, I don't know where we're going with this, but 72% said Blanca and 28 said Pikachu.
Damn.
Was it 69%?
And the last one, Dan Hibiki, who is probably the bane of jokes in all of Street Fighter, versus the custom Mii fighters in Smash Brothers.
Yeah, Dan doesn't win fights. He's like a joke in Street Fighter. That's all.
Yep.
Contradiction, sir. Back in Street Fighter 4, you used, what was it, Oni? You used Oni. I used Dan.
I don't remember this.
I won
I don't remember this.
after 17 matches. And I made a big deal. I'm like, Dan saves the universe. Yeah.
Dan is just a weak clone, like Sean is in Third Strike, if anyone knows who that is. But custom Mii fighter, like you could take any Mii fighter. You can give you could just take a regular Mii that I just created on the Wii, and that'll still be Dan.
I could beat Dan.
I don't think you could. Like, honestly.
I don't think you can
Not
beat Dan
saying
either,
you
but
can't, but he's been in the street fighting
He's got a
tournament,
dojo,
you know.
and yeah, he's doing it.
He's a trained fighter. Not trained well, but he's a trained fighter.
Yeah.
And how did the listeners respond?
64 on the custom Mii fighter and 36
Jeez.
on Dan.
Okay, that's fair. That's good. Good.
So that, everyone, was fan favorites.
Cool. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed fan favorites. If you got some ideas for topics or themes for next week's fan favorites, feel free to email us, contact@scspodcast.net.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook, because now we're doing the poll so you guys can vote with us.
All right, so gaming community. So this is going to be a discussion about the gaming community and the fact that the closer we get, it seems, in my opinion, maybe we'll see how everyone else feels, that we're getting further away from each other. So we have online gaming now, so at a button press, we can, connect and talk or chat, play a game with millions, but that same close personal feel of gaming has seemed to have dwindled. So, how do you guys feel about the way that online gaming and just always being online has, affected our ability to communicate with one another on a personal level?
I don't think it's made that big of an impact, honestly. I think online gaming has done nothing but good and bringing people closer. I mean, Johnny, how often have we wanted to play Gears of War or something, or have a co-op night? And, due to, I can't always come over to your place and sit on the couch, but, log right on Xbox Live, maybe get a few For Honor rounds in. That's something we couldn't do if we didn't have online.
Okay.
True.
Chandler?
Yeah, for me, I mean, one of my most reliable Xbox Live, gaming partners is one of my ex's sisters. And I mean, we play a couple nights a week together, and she lives in Iowa. I mean, I would have no opportunity to play with her ever.
Yeah.
And in Path of Exile, I'm friends with a guy from Russia, and we play together. So
Yeah, and you have a pretty small community of players that you've grown to be good friends with that, I've met at parties and stuff that you hosted. They've driven down, they flew down. So one thing I want to add to that is it definitely builds communities, because now you can reach to people that you would never be able to before. They don't live on your street. You don't know who they are. You don't talk to them. You can't play with them. And being able to connect, as you point, push of a button, literally, to reach out to tens, hundreds, and thousands of different people to play, interact, and really get competitive. What I think it takes away, and games have taken away from this almost just as equally as the community has. It used to be you wanted to play with a bunch of people, everybody got together in the same house. I miss that. I mean, Johnny, all three of you guys, we're all big on board games. We all have little hosts and parties, and we have a good time with gatherings. We cook and stuff, and that's something that we love to do. And games used to be a part of that, where you wanted to play Halo with 16 people. You had 16 people, 4 Xboxes, and a big internet connection. You don't have that anymore. And I really miss that.
Yeah, I think I'm on that side of the fence where you guys aren't wrong. Gaming has evolved where you can play with people across different countries or regions and people that move far away you maybe couldn't have connected with the same way. But I do miss that close quarters gaming where you had to go to a friend's house. And Garrett, you made the mention we don't have the time we used to. We can't go to each other's houses. But also maybe that's a little bit laziness. Maybe it's because it's so convenient for us to game online and I have to, go to your house or come to my house and spend that time together like that we're just using the online almost as a crutch at times.
Yep.
I have two counterpoints to both you and Joshua. One being when these games were out, when we were playing, Halo, getting all our Xboxes together, it was a different time. We had school to worry about. We're done with a 7.5 hour day or whatever, and the rest was for us. We could do whatever we wanted, granted, if our parents let us, but, or on weekends, we would have the time to do all this. And then, another thing, Johnny, again, as we have grown up, we've gotten our own places. We don't live down the street anymore. It's not that simple just to have everyone come over. You live almost half an hour away. Now that's not a lot. That's not, big, but that's a half hour I have to drive over there, get some game time in. A half hour I got to drive back, so I have to make sure I leave at a timely manner or something like that, so online, I think, yes, we don't have the closeness that we used to. We don't have the couch co-op feel. But I don't think that's solely because of online. I think we just grow up, we get responsibilities. Johnny, you've got a 4-month-old now, so it's not online's fault that I think. I think online is helping us cope with our new responsibilities and still being able to game with each other.
So, Joshua, to your point, I mean, I do remember our Duke Nukem days with your dad and brothers and sisters all, on a PC playing together and the beatdowns that happened, and that was great. But you and Garrett both were at my parties, and Johnny, hopefully you'll be at one of my future ones. And What Do You Meme and Cards Against Humanity, and I have a ping pong table set up. We still do other games. And as far as video games, I mean, look at the content that's out. Destiny. When are you going to get 6 people that can devote, 3 to 6 hours twice a week for that raid? You're going to get that many people at your house? I mean, it's not going to happen. And there's a good majority of people on Destiny that don't have enough people on their friends list that are on at the time that they would be able to raid, on the days they'd be able to raid, to do it. They have to reach out to people they don't know in order to get this content finished. LFG. I mean, we wouldn't have in a lot of games the same kind of content that we can have today due to online gaming. Now, I do feel that the negatives that online gaming has brought is the anonymity, and the people use that to abuse other players and take things out on other people. So that's the negative side. Yeah. But I mean, when you got together with your friends, if you wanted to trash talk, they're right there. And that anonymity online is I think the biggest problem of online gaming, that you can insult anybody whichever way you please, and
you don't got to worry about that ass whooping.
Yeah, exactly. If you see what they look like, you're like, "Oh, you're right in front of me. I'm not gonna say that to you."
You little 11-year-old talking about my mom. You do what? bring that spanking over here. But to your point, it's a little bit different when you're talking to people you don't know, or strangers, and there's no repercussions, versus if you're with your friends in the same room, you're probably not going to talk or act that way if you're taking it to that extreme.
So I think there's no right or wrong answer here. I think everyone is speaking truth on the good and the bad because they both have pros and cons. But I just want to point out the intangibles of it. So when you game with your friends on anything, around a table with board games or sitting on the same couch playing a video game, that feeling of that camaraderie of talking and trash talking and just having fun, it's just not quite the same as online. Like, for instance, we'll probably do something after this podcast. We played some games or Speedrunners or Smash Brothers or Injustice, and us 3 or 4 sitting there on that couch playing that game and then passing the controller and, watching and all that going on, it just wouldn't be the same in an online chat party.
Yep,
right?
I'm bringing my tournament experience to the game table today.
We'll see. We'll see. And that's what I miss. And I feel like not that online gaming hasn't taken that away, but because online gaming is more prevalent, we're more used to it, and we'll go that route rather than, like you said, spending 20 or 30 minutes to drive to experience the latter. And that's how I feel.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I totally understand that having people there and their presence. I'm a very highly social person, and I don't like being alone. When I game, I prefer to game with other people. And whether they were over at my house playing Gears of War or we were, talking via chat, if you're talking via chat with your whole party, I mean, I personally get that same connection. We do the trash talking, we, do the raging and, wanting to throw our controllers and, this character, that Bastion over there in the corner,
Damn you, Bastion.
I feel like I still get that in a large degree. But then again, you're right. There is that having people there, which is why I throw my parties.
One thing I want to add to that real quick. Microsoft really took that idea and really brought it outside that four walls type of content. Because when the Xbox, the original Xbox came out, it was a big deal to go online and game with other people. That had never been done before outside of the PC realm. And then Xbox 360 came out and they introduced a 4-way chat, and then they extended it to 8-way chat. That was huge. You get to talk to 7 other people in real time at the same time. And this was before you could, do conference calls on your cell phone and things like that. Like, that was a big deal where you can now reach out to other people in party. Oh, you're going to be the host? Okay, I'm going to join your game, Gears of War, and, really figure out what you wanted to do. And that built a community, because now you have 4 people that are in a chat. You 4 can join a match. You don't have to try to figure out how to join, and that's kind of where Nintendo's suffering right now on their Switch and some of their games. You can't really connect with other people because you have to do all this work. Microsoft made it easy, and since then, everyone else, Sony and other, Steam, they've picked up on that, and that's where it's now evolved, where it's just, easy, convenient, and more accessible today.
Okay, awesome. So my final question then is, on either side, or maybe, to influence both, what would you change about online gaming or cooperative, like couch co-op, to make them both better experiences, if they can be made better?
I think pulling from Overwatch again, I mean, one of the problems with that, compared to PC, now on PC, you can report players for griefing, for throwing, for abusive trash talk and things like that, and they can get banned by Blizzard. But on the Xbox, and I don't have a PlayStation, so I don't know about, PSN, but there's not really so much of that. They don't monitor it like Blizzard does. They can't log everything, and they can't real-time review everything like Blizzard can. But if there was a way that there were more lasting consequences, like if you had enough people over enough time constantly reporting you for, vulgar chat or stuff like that, that you're stripped of Xbox Live Gold for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Like, you've had 2-3 warnings. You need to cease and desist. You're getting complaints, and these are by, if there's a reporting system of rating, like, okay, yeah, we looked into this, and you submit good reports on people, and, you have a good rating, and enough highly rated people negatively report you lose your Xbox internet connection. I mean, like, you can't play online with any other people anymore, and that would kind of dissuade these trash talkers and griefers and stuff. They might quit and not play Xbox, but I mean, do you really want those people in your community because it makes you some money?
Another one bites the dust.
Online still can bring that whole couch camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
They're
close.
Yeah. As long as you're gaming with friends, when you're gaming with friends, it's a fun time no matter what you're doing. Unless you're losing. If you're losing with friends, then it's all their fault, and cut those ties.
This is that griefing thing we were talking about.
Main.
No, but another thing I actually want to add on that I think has helped with the online community is, if you just sit down and watch Twitch, if you watch a group of people and they're all streaming, they're all still trash talking, they're all still laughing and joking around about, oh man, you just died because, you got hit by that car, and, what, H1Z1, is that what the kids are playing now?
Battleground.
Player unknown battlegrounds, yeah. But you still can get that kind of, oh, we're next to each other, or, oh, you can't physically, push the guy over or anything, but you can look at the screen, see their reaction to the things that you do still. And I think it's still something that can be done just in a watered down, less concentrated dose, if that makes sense.
Any improvements?
I think that is an improvement. You can still
Twitch,
get that feeling. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, and even doing it yourself, stream with a buddy, play those co-op games and stream it. Have a good time.
Okay.
You even interact with the chat.
One thing that I miss, and they do it in certain like Skype and things like that, is being able to have some type of video feed or something. Like if I played Uno on Xbox Live, if you had a webcam, which is a cheesy little small camera, you can actually see the person's face and the reactions when you're playing Uno. And there was a couple games that did that. Rainbow Six Vegas 2, I think, did that.
Burnout did that.
Yeah. Like that brought you a little bit closer together because then you can now see a reaction while you're playing with them. And that kind of builds that couch co-op likeness. But Garrett, one thing that you had talked about previously that I missed out on was the ability to like be in this digital theater and watch movies with like chat party and things like that. I think they need to, even if it wasn't successful, do a new idea like that to not only bring people together, but interact more at the same time. Look, you're on the same thing. You want to play a game? Cool. That's one thing. But if you want to watch movies, if you want to watch Twitch, if you want to do something else, maybe you all can be on the same feed and do that as well. I think that needs to come back. And
it was really cool. It can clearly be done. They've done it. Yeah, I'm not sure why they took it away.
Like Nintendo had the Miiverse, which is super, super small, but it was very effective. Being able to see different things that random people write, like that was awesome. PlayStation tried PlayStation Home and it didn't really take off. No. But the idea was there.
So I have a couple of improvements that I think would do very well. So the first one, and my gosh, I hate bringing up Overwatch. Not because it's not a good game, but because every time I do, Garrett just geeks out, and I got two here.
Hi.
But
so okay, Overwatch episode.
Overwatch does, I think, one of the best things for competitive gaming in that you can't see everyone's KD ratios. Because you can't see everyone's KD ratios, you can't yell at anybody. Because you don't know. I mean, you know, but you can't really know.
Yeah, you see him in the kill feed every 0.2 seconds,
right? But you can't look at a stat sheet and go, "Dude, you suck. You're 0-16. I put you on my back. I led the team." You can't do that. You just play.
How'd you get play of the game?
Right? Exactly. So you're playing for you, and that's it. And you're not worried about everyone else. You're not looky-looing and going, "Well, he sucks. I'm better. He sucks. I'm better." You're playing for your own experience. And I understand to a certain degree, not every game can do that. But even if they did a thing where, let's say at the end of a Call of Duty match, you couldn't see the stats until you backed out of the menu and then looked at your last 8 games, whatever, and saw all the games you played and the time and the level and saw the stats there. That would eliminate a lot of people yelling at each other. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Cyberbullying and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because you couldn't have a reason to yell at anybody.
Well, that's why a lot of people don't play when they're just playing casually and they're trying to play it for fun or trying to get good, but then you have people that are less swamping on you.
Yeah, take it out even in ranked. I mean, what do you really need it for? Do you really need to know right then at the end of the match who was bad and who was good other than yourself? You don't. I mean, have it something that you can back out of the menu and check then, because then you can't grief on anybody.
Like post-game kind of thing.
Yeah. And I think that'd help a lot. And the second thing I think that would help a lot is give some sort of, I don't know how to explain it, reward for players gaming together online. Now, many gamers, like you said, you enjoy it more, Chandler, when you play with your friends. Maybe not even achievements, but something in game, maybe some sort of unlockable or some, I don't know what it could be, but something where, hey, if you play with your friends consistently, your game experience will be better somehow. And that, I think that'd be not something game breaking, but something where it's enough of an incentive that I want to play with you just because. Not only the experience, because it's a better game that way.
Hey, Chandler, do you know what game does that?
Here we go.
Overwatch.
Yeah.
You group up with your buddies, get that group bonus?
Group bonus, group XP bonus. You earn loot boxes faster. And I think grouping up with your friends inherently that is the plus side.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's all you need, because...
And when you guys work together, you tend to win more.
Yeah. Like, when I play Overwatch, I mean, I tend to 2, 3, 4 stack at most. 5, 6, kind of is not very fun. But I almost never play alone just because I don't like playing alone. It's not a good experience. Yeah.
So cool. Well, that's what we had on the gaming community and our thoughts on online gaming compared to couch co-op. Let us know how you guys felt on our website. You can reach us at contact@scspodcast.net as well, or on Twitter @SuperCoopSquad. Our next gaming segment for this podcast, gamer trivia. So every week, 2 of our hosts go head to head in a best of 5 trivia contest. The winner retains bragging rights and stays and plays again next week, while the loser creates next week's trivia. Play along and see just how much gaming knowledge you have in gamer trivia. All right. Well, my sister worked me over. Yes, last week.
Yeah, it's your favorite game too.
It's not my favorite game, but it's one I like a lot.
You know the back of the case.
Yeah. No excuses. She put it on me. Can't lie. Joshua, though, I know you're not happy about it, but you're doing the trivia.
So just to let everyone know how it works, before I left, according to Johnny, before I left, I was the last one to do trivia. So when I came back, I had trivia duty. So even though Johnny lost, he loses his win streak, but doesn't have to do the chores.
Well, who lost first?
It's funny that he's saying this. He's only saying that because he's really salty he had to do trivia.
I'm not salty. I was just like, I'm coming back. I don't need to do work. And Johnny's like, no, do work. Get it.
Get it done.
Alrighty. So with knowing Chandler was coming on, I wanted to do something that, of course, he knew.
Do you know how this works? Sorry.
Oh, I was going to explain.
He knows how it works. You have to. You just text him like individually.
You text me
your answer.
Don't send it to the group, Johnny.
I won't.
So I wanted to do something that you guys would know and enjoy, and also Chandler would. I really, really wanted to do Diablo 3 because you all love it, but I'd never played the game, so I have no content there, and I tried to look some stuff up. I couldn't create trivia out of it. I really tried. I thought it'd be really fun. But hoping that you guys all run away with this one, we are going to do Xbox 360 trivia.
All right.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go Diablo 2.
Oh, no.
That would have been amazing.
I haven't played any
I
Diablo.
spent like
Fair enough.
1,000 hours plus in that
Yeah,
game.
I just scrapped Diablo. I said, no, I'm done.
Fair enough.
We're all big fans of Microsoft and the Xbox. We all have Xbox Ones. We've had Xbox 360s. So I figured it would be nice to do some type of trivia along the lines of that. So
All
Xbox
right.
360 trivia. You guys all ready?
Ready.
All right. Question number 1. What was the original code name for the Xbox 360? Is it A, Xenon? That's Xenon.
Of the 23rd century?
Yep. B, Durango. C, Baraboo. Or D, Xbox 2. I have Johnny's answer. I have Garrett's answer. And I have Chandler's answer. Now, this is going to be fun. I get 3 people here. So, Chandler, you said A, Xenon is the original codename. Johnny and Garrett said B, Durango is the original codename. The correct answer is A. It is Xenon.
Wow! What is the Durango? That's something. Good job.
That is
car.
I had no clue, but I was like, it wouldn't have been Xbox 2. It's just too obvious. But the other one has an X in it, so.
Yeah, Durango, I believe, was the Xbox One's original codename.
Got us.
The original.
Got us.
Or the Xbox One.
The original.
Okay.
The original.
Yeah, be careful.
Baraboo, whatever, that's the HoloLens codename.
Oh.
And then an Xbox 2 was the rumored Xbox One.
Get wrecked, Garrett. Get wrecked, Johnny.
So, Chandler, that's one for you. You're already winning as the guest. It's going to be a repeat of last week. Johnny and Garrett, you
Don't
have
jinx
0.
You know what's so funny is Garrett. No, we're over here all smug.
Like, yeah. Like, I bet you don't even know.
We got
I know. Chandler's over here shrugging. I don't know.
Garrett and Johnny really had in their faces look shocked when I told them it was wrong.
So shocked.
All right.
Man, I'm glad this isn't live.
Question number 2. On January 5th, 2006, the makers of the console signed a long-term contract with what satellite service provider? Is it A, Cinemax, B, Sling TV, C, Direct TV, or D, Netflix? I have Garrett's answer.
More like Skinamax.
I have Chandler's answer. It's PG show. Stop it. PG-13. And I have Johnny's answer. Johnny, you said C, Direct TV. Chandler and Garrett, you said D, Netflix.
All right, I feel good.
The correct answer is C. They signed with Direct TV.
Yes.
Damn, I'm the only one
I
on
don't
the board.
remember that.
I don't either.
Neither do I. The only thing I knew was it couldn't, like Garrett said, it couldn't be Skinamax. There's no way.
Cinemax is the actual.
I know they couldn't do that. Netflix doesn't sign contracts. Like it's just
It's just a service that you add.
Because I figured after the contract ended, maybe that's why they got rid of theater mode.
And then Sling TV is very new.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, that
it
came
is.
around Xbox One, and 360 was still live, but yeah, it's very frequent. So Johnny, that's one for you, and Chandler, Garrett, that is incorrect. So one Johnny, one Chandler, one Garrett. I'm sorry, 0 Garrett.
Yeah, there you
Feels
go.
good having points, huh?
Yeah, it does. I don't
All
want to
right.
be sweeped as the guest.
Fun fact number 1. Within nearly 10 years of the Xbox 360's existence, over 1,000 Xbox games had been made, and an average of 7.5 games were in each household for that console.
Nice.
So 1,000 games is a lot.
The dominant console.
It's 100 a year based on that trend. That's crazy. Question number 3. Which of these games was not an Xbox 360 launch title? Is it A, Condemned Criminal Origins, B, Project Gotham Racing 3, C, Quake 4, or D, Fight Night Round 3? Which was not a launch title for the Xbox 360? I have Garrett's answer. I have Johnny's answer. I have Chandler's answer. You guys are all looking at each other like real big thinking faces. All right. So, Johnny and Chandler, you picked C. Quake 4 was not a launch title. Garrett, you said B. Project Gotham Racing 3
I didn't pay attention to car games.
was not a launch title. The correct answer is D. Fight Night Round 3 is not a launch title.
I figured I would have remembered if Quake had been a launch title for any of them.
Quake
Right.
4 was... There was 18 games that came out with the Xbox 360, and Quake 4 was one of them.
I just felt EA would have had a game on there, and I really like Fight Night, so.
It came out within, I think, 4 months of the launch.
All right. Well,
So, that's incorrect for all of you. And the score is Johnny 1, Chandler 1, Garrett 0. Still plenty of game left. Question number 4. Which of these games is the highest selling Xbox 360? Which of these games is the highest selling Xbox 360 title of all time? Is it A, Grand Theft Auto 5? Is it B, Halo 3? Is it C, Minecraft, the Xbox 360 edition? Or is it D, Kinect Adventures? Which of these is the highest selling Xbox 360 game of all time? Garrett, I have your answer, followed by your comment. I have Johnny's answer. I have Chandler's answer. Sorry, this is, like I said, this is fun for me.
hold on. Just want to point out, if it's freaking Connected Adventures, I'm going to lose my crap, dude. Like,
I guess we'll have to see.
go ahead.
All right, so
There's plenty of diapers in this garage.
where are the tissues at? Garrett, you said A, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Uh-huh.
Chandler and Johnny, you both said B, it was Halo 3. The correct answer is D, Kinect Adventures.
What? Oh my god.
So this is a somewhat trick question.
I knew you were going to
Because
do that.
in the NPDs, any games that come with a console count as a game sold.
I don't remember that game coming with a console.
I knew this. But
It came with every system that came with a Kinect.
yeah, I knew
Originally.
What was the name of the game again?
Kinect Adventures.
See, I knew you were going to do that, but I wasn't sure because that's how the game Wii Sports was on the top of the NPD charts for so long.
Because they launched with literally every single Wii until the
should've
black
went-
model came out.
So what besides that one was the most selling?
I didn't look up number 2.
Number 2, okay.
But I think top 5 is like Modern Warfare 3, Halo's up there. Grand Theft Auto, I think, is number 2.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Grand Theft Auto 5 is number 2, but I didn't check.
You got one chance to get on the board, Garrett.
So, Johnny, Chandler, Garrett, that is incorrect. But the score is 1 Johnny, 1 Chandler, 0 Garrett.
Is this going to be the lowest scoring game of all time?
You're tied for the lowest scoring
We're
game
so
of all
close.
time. You're
We're
tied.
so
One of you needs to get one more point to beat that. All right. Fun fact number 2. The reason the Xbox logo is green is because when it came time to create and present a logo, the artist had only a neon green marker. His coworkers had stolen all the other colors in the set, and all he had to use was a green marker.
Wow.
So we went to present that, and they're like, wow, this works. And it stuck.
This guy barely kept his job.
I mean, I don't know. All his coworkers took like fancy like markers, and hey, there you go. Question number 5. The one that Garrett really, really needs. Which of these titles is not a pure Xbox 360 exclusive? Meaning, which of these games went to another console? Is it A, Dead or Alive 4, B, the Orange Box, which is the Half-Life Portal compilation, C, Bullet Witch, or D, Beautiful Katamari? Which of these games is not a pure Xbox 360 exclusive? I have Johnny's answer. I have Garrett's answer.
Garrett's over there praying.
He's praying real hard. And I have Chandler's answer. Each of you chose a different answer.
That's not a good sign.
Someone's going to be right, or all of you are going to be wrong. So,
That's good.
Johnny, you said B, the Orange Box, moved to another platform. Chandler, you said...
Wait, did go to another? We're picking the one that did go to another platform?
We're
Yes.
picking the one that
damn it.
didn't stay or is not
okay.
a full exclusive.
Gotcha.
Like how BioShock used to be a full exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought.
So
sorry.
Garrett feels he misread or misheard the question. Should we let him change his answer?
I don't think so, but
Damn, dude, I'm already like kicked down on the ground. You can't give me this one.
Watch you change your answer and get it wrong, but your original
That
be
happened
right.
the last time he
that's
did
happened.
that.
it happened.
So I think if he misunderstood, it's fair. I haven't.
All right.
All right. So Garrett, if you wish to change your answer, I have your revised answer, Garrett. Still, everybody chose a different answer.
Damn.
Wow.
So Johnny, you said the Orange Box was not exclusive. Chandler, you said Bullet Witch was not exclusive. Garrett, you originally said Dead or Alive, and then you changed it to Beautiful Katamari. The correct answer is B, the Orange Box.
Okay, so
swore
I
I saw
felt
that
like
on
that was going to be a
PS3.
trick one because I know that the Orange Box it came out originally for PC. Like the games individually came out for PC.
Yeah.
But the Orange
So-
Box,
Is the compilation
the
of all
Orange
of
Box was exclusive to the 360, and then eventually got ported to the PS3.
So-
just like Mass Effect, just like BioShock.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought that was going to be a trick answer.
So yeah, the Orange Box actually is like kind of rare on Xbox 360 and PS3.
It's still
too.
like $35,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah, it's still like,
like
a
a 10-year-old game.
$40 game. So that's the only reason I knew that answer.
See, when I thought, I don't know, I thought it was reversed, I guess, where which of these stayed on the console. I'm like, oh, well, I'm going with Dead or Alive 4 because one of the characters is a Spartan. So I'm like, there's no way that would be on another console. So, but
Yeah.
I was
I
trying to
let
find
you
the
change
opposite.
it,
Yeah.
and it was still wrong.
No,
so.
I appreciate.
I figured that was
that
a
wasn't
trick.
that wasn't like a knife. So
I appreciate the chance.
okay, so Johnny, that's a point for you. Chandler, Garrett, that's wrong. So score is 2 Johnny, 1 Chandler, 0 Garrett. But you can still participate.
Not really.
You can still participate
You can still vote.
in the bonus question, the super sudden death question. So you know how it works, Chandler. If you're not familiar, you bet X amount of points you wish to double up on. If you get it right, you get that many points. If you get it wrong, you lose that many points. Johnny, I have your bet. Chandler, I have your bet. Garrett, I know what your bet is, but I still need you to submit a bet.
That's just rubbing
There's
salt in the
literally no
wound.
reason.
thinking that right now.
There's literally no reason. Even if they lose and lose all their points.
Excuse me, class. Participation is required. And to your point, if both of them bet all their points and it's a tie and they both get them wrong, you are now in the game.
Three-way.
You're tied for the next question.
Well,
So
then
either-
I guess they're not going to bet all their points.
I guess we'll just have to see
I
that.
guess we'll have to see.
Sorry, I'm being a dick right now.
Doing so good. I'm loving it.
All right. So the bonus question.
You came back from Evo all confrontational, ready to fight.
I had a lot of fun out there. The bonus question. Name me the month and the year the Xbox 360 came out. I'm not asking for a date, meaning a day. This is not Game Boy trivia. So I need the month. I need the month and the year the Xbox 360 first released. I have Garrett's answer. He played. That's why I'm laughing.
For no reason.
Yeah, no, there's no raisins here. No 2 scoops here.
just gotta check his Wikipedia.
I'm not doing that. I'm not.
I have Chandler's answer.
I hated dates in history.
Johnny's answer's in here too. All right. All three of you gave different answers, so we'll see who is right.
Ooh.
So I'm going to start with you, Garrett.
Uh-huh.
You said November 2005.
Sure.
Chandler,
No, I did.
Chandler, you said December 2005. And Johnny, you said November 2006. The correct answer is November 2005.
Dang it. I didn't.
1 month off.
That's the year I graduated high school. I didn't think that it came out that year.
It was the year before I graduated high school.
Yep. So, Garrett, you got that correct. Chandler, Johnny, you got that incorrect. This is where how many times have I told you, Johnny, never give up?
You always
Garrett,
say
you need to shut up and stop being salty and just play the game. For the points. Garrett had 0 points. He bet all his 0 points. You have 0.
Thank you.
Chandler, you had 1 point. You bet 1 point. You have 0. Johnny, you had 2 points. You bet 2 points. The score is zeros across the board.
What? I thought Johnny was
Goose eggs.
totally gonna do the 1 point because then I could only tie.
Yeah,
But Johnny's trying to like go all in and just win it
Right,
all
I'm
and
like,
keep it
let me
interesting.
go in. Let me go
So this
in.
has never happened before, where the times we have all guests, it's a complete tie, and never have we had a 0 score across the board. So I have created a super sudden death run back. So this is where all the bomb bombs fall on the field.
Oh, no.
This is how the rule's gonna work. I'm gonna have a timer. You get 8 seconds each. You're gonna do a round robin, one person at a time. You're gonna name me an exclusive Xbox 360 title. Johnny, you're gonna give me a 360 exclusive title, then Chandler, then Garrett, back to Johnny. If you run out of time, get a title wrong, or repeat a title, you're out.
Okay.
Does that include series? So if you say one game in a series, that counts the whole series?
like for instance,
Yes.
everyone knows like this
No
game
Mass
one,
Effect
this
1,
game two.
Mass Effect 2, No, it's one like franchise.
And it must be games that never ever got a re-release on like a PlayStation console, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if it's on PC, does that qualify? Like a Windows PC game?
That is included.
So do we just want to go Microsoft?
Because
Sure. Yeah.
Windows games,
Xbox, and PC, they're
the same thing.
synonymous.
Okay, so as long as it wasn't on like Sony or Nintendo,
Yes.
Because a Windows PC game is
It's
a Microsoft game.
Yes. That is correct.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, just to be sure, we're only going genre of 360. Or the
360.
era.
Just 360, that console. So, I'm not going to tell you when. I'm not going to count down 5, 4, 3. I'm going to just tell you your time is up. Johnny, give me a title.
Halo,
Mass Effect.
Gears of War.
Fable,
Dead or Alive.
Cameo.
Forza,
Hexic.
Bullet Witch.
Dead Rising 2,
You barely made it.
I round out.
All right, so Chandler, your 8 seconds is up. You are out. So, naturally, Garrett, you're going to be up, and that's between Garrett and Johnny. This is for the winner of Xbox Trivia. 3, 2, 1, go.
Charlotte Complex.
Nice.
Project Gotham Racing,
Nice.
Beautiful Calamari.
BioShock.
Oh, nope. That is time and that is wrong. BioShock did come to PlayStation 3.
I had nothing else.
That means Garrett, by default,
I can't believe that.
got an extra life, is the winner of Xbox 360 Trivia.
And that's why they give rewards for participation.
So next time you want to back out, see, if I was a nice guy, which I am, you'd be back in, which you were. But if I was an ass and I was not a nice guy, I would just said, nah, man, you're done. You gave up. You fainted. You're done.
Thanks,
But
buddy.
you held in there strong. I was waiting for something like Alan Wake.
It's hard.
Condemned was in
Yeah,
there.
it is. Did someone say Gears of War?
Nobody said Gears of War.
No.
Oh, that's what
Garrett said Gears of War right off the bat.
Garrett did
No,
not
I
say Gears of
didn't.
War.
That was the first thing he said.
Did he say Gears of War?
I said Halo, then you said
I said Mass Effect, and he immediately said Gears of
Oh,
War.
maybe I
He
did.
did
Yeah,
say-
yeah, yeah. Because
yeah.
I was thinking the
Yeah,
big
that was
two, and I'm like,
used.
oh, Chandler didn't say.
Gears.
Oh, so maybe he did
Okay,
say it.
that's
But no,
right.
I did hear Dell. So
Yeah.
I didn't say you couldn't use stuff that was already in the trivia. So as soon as Garrett gave one that was in the trivia, he said, beautiful Katamari. Johnny's like, what? Like, you can do that?
I thought
Because
I was
at
going to
first
do it. I
with
just
Bullet
couldn't remember
Witch.
the name. But I went for Hexic, which came on it.
I played the crap out of Hex.
Oh, I love that game.
you can't beat it too.
I thought that Beautiful Cat. It threw me off because I thought Beautiful Katamari was on PS3.
No, it's like beautiful.
Demasi.
Yeah, something like that. So
No, because that question that Beautiful Katamari was on was which
Yeah.
one
That was 3 of my titles.
actually went to another console.
Yeah.
And that was one of the wrong answers.
I was hoping we were going to run into a 2-way tie, but a 3-way tie, that was awesome. So thank you,
Yeah.
everybody. Garrett, next week, that means Johnny's doing trivia next week.
and he lost a streak.
Again.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations to you, Garrett. You came back somehow, even though you scored 0 points in the entire game. And
Possible to not score and win?
Oh, I know that's salt.
that can only happen, I guess, if someone bets all their points. And
Burns, don't it?
I did. Okay, fine, whatever. Well, anyway, hopefully you guys did much better than we did. We scored a combined 3 points.
And much better than me with a combined 0 points.
Yeah, added nothing to trivia. So hopefully you guys did better than us, and you can reach out to us and let us know how you did, or give us some topics next week on our website or on our email contact at scspodcast.net. So gaming tournament. So Joshua, you just recently returned from your EVO 2017 experience. So tell us a little bit about how that went.
Okay, so I went with my brother. We drove up together, met up with Frank and his wife and 2 kids because they were going like as a family, and all of us had a good time. My brother enjoys fighting games and he really likes Tekken, so he's got that. But I was the one that was mostly on the floor for majority of the time. Last year, I was tired a lot of the time. I didn't really stay on the event floor, but this time I was there quite a bit. It was just a ton of fun. We were at Mandalay Bay this year, which is where the grand finals was last year as well as this year, but the main event was there as well. There was so much room. I mean, there's a lot of people there, but now you can see all the extra room between it. It allows you to breathe. Very similar how we talked about PlayStation experience. There was a lot of room. This had a ton of room. There was a ton of booths. There was a ton of stations for games. They had vendors. They had developers there for all the fighting games and even more. It was just an awesome experience. They had people cosplaying. I think the best one I showed you a picture was Ganondorf.
Oh,
The guy
yeah,
said he spent 8 months on that costume. There was a Jerez from Dragon Ball Super, which none of you probably know about. There's character from Blaze Blue, from Tekken, from Street Fighter. It's almost like a mini con, but strictly for fighting games. It was great.
All right, cool, man. So how did you do personally?
Personally.
So I played Street Fighter, Marvel, Smash Brothers. Street Fighter, I went 4-2. Smash Brothers, I went 0-2, which is surprising because that's the game I played more than anything else. And then Marvel, I went, I believe, 3-2. So I did better than I did last year, but I was disappointed because it just wasn't my day in Smash.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing. We've been training for about a year now, so I had expected a little bit better from you there.
Me
but
too.
As long as you had fun.
You gotta train at 1,000 times gravity now.
Yeah. With one finger push
your
up.
family.
Yeah, no, it was fun, and it's fun to compete. Like me, I know I'm not gonna win any of the tournaments to be number one.
Well, of course.
But to play against other people
Damn.
you don't know, to kind of build that camaraderie, and it's still competitive, even if you are playing, casually for fun. It's a different type of experience. The nerves do get to you still.
Yeah.
It's definitely different, but it's a good experience.
It is, yeah. It's a lot of fun just being there. And like I said, experiencing. I've been to some smaller ones. And just quick side note there, Garrett, that wasn't an insult to him. None of us are going to win a gaming
No,
tournament
I
of
know,
that
but
caliber.
just those words coming out of your mouth, I can skew it any way I want.
I suppose you could. So you just went to one of the biggest fighting game tournaments, and I think a lot of people don't know how big not only like the FGC, the fighting game community is, but just gaming tournaments in their area. And you're pretty big in those when you want to be. So, what are some tips or ideas you have for people who might want to be who might be interested in, joining a local gaming community and being very competitive in it to kind of get involved in that?
Yeah. first thing I want to say, if you like any of the games that they played this year, which was, Marvel, Street Fighter, Injustice, Smash Brothers, Guilty Gear, Tekken, if you want to see how competitive and hype and energetic that gets from the crowd, from the announcers, go watch EVO 2017 Grand Finals for any of those games. They were all fabulous, fantastic, highly, highly competitive. And it was just very intense. And you either run with the crowd or you're just, sitting there like, oh my God, what just happened? I mean, to really get into it or even start to get a feel for it, you got to pick a fighting game because this is strictly fighting games. Pick a game you like or a game that you love. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Tekken, Smash Brothers, anything like that. Just pick a game that you like. I would recommend, they stream different mini side tournaments all the time. Twitch is the biggest channel, I guess you could say, where you can just watch other people play, watch little competitions. There are archives and videos on YouTube everywhere.
Weekly tournaments.
Yeah, they have weekly tournaments in different cities. Like here in California in Santa Ana, they have the Esports Arena, which is a pretty decently big one. Anytime they have a big tournament here in Southern California, all the pros go to that place because it's a dedicated venue for that. Watch a tournament, see how it plays, see how people, participate, winners bracket, losers bracket, and just how the announcers really give you knowledge on how the game is, how it plays, specific skill sets. It's pretty much like commentators on any type of sports game. They're telling you how the game is played. They're guiding you to what the characters are doing, maybe what the players are thinking. And it really gives you a deep dive on how the game works and how people at a higher level play this game.
Real quick, if I can add to that,
Sure.
There's something that Capcom specifically does with in Street Fighter tournaments on Twitch. When you're watching a fighting game, you're hearing the commentators, they're talking all this lingo, cross-ups and, wake-up game and all that stuff. A lot of that can kind of go over a newcomer's head. You don't know what all that lingo is. One thing that the Capcom stream does, like say for the Capcom Cup, is, during intermissions or commercial breaks or whatever, they have like tips and they let you know like, a cross-up is when an attack is coming and you have to block in the opposite direction. They kind of really break it down. I would like more places to do that, or you can always just Google those kinds. So when you're watching a tournament, you're hearing this lingo, Google it and see what it is they're talking about. A lot of the lingo can help you understand the game.
Yeah, it's a great bring up. It's almost like a visual tutorial. And sometimes the announcers, they'll say, hey, for those that, aren't watching and don't know what this is what this is, or this is what it can do. If you want to get a little bit deeper, I would interact with the community when you're watching these streams. They have a chat box. Ask questions in the chat. Talk to people in the chat. Or if you're watching specific YouTubers or streamers like, Maximilian dude, he always interacts with the chat. Most people that stream individually, whether it's on their own or in a side tourney, they're always responding with the chat, answering questions live. And that really gets you to get to know a feel and get you more involved.
I think I'm a newcomer to fighting games, or I will watch them on streams, and like if I was watching like a Mortal Kombat tournament, it's always like, oh, he's gonna do a down B or something like that, and
down 1-2,
yeah,
back 3.
So it's like you got to look up the lingo first, because I mean, if you go to the conventions, a lot of the people that are going to be there are very passionate about it, and they know all that. Like that's considered basic.
Yeah.
So it's like you almost have to like YouTube that. You need to YouTube then character guides as well for like the individual characters you want to play. But even just for the lingo, you got to study up on that before you try to talk about it.
I think one of the best things to do is, like you said, find a game you like. If you like playing Injustice 2 or Smash Brothers or Street Fighter, whatever I don't know, speedrunners, some other game that people like do like for speed runs or whatever. If you like that game, if you're in an urban area, Southern California, Miami, Chicago, New York, wherever, San Francisco, if you look, there will definitely be some sort of local community that you can meet up with at some arcade, at some dude's house. Sometimes 20, 30 people meet up. People rent out like rooms or rec centers, open up their rooms for free. Go to one of those small events and just check it out. You don't have to compete. And I guarantee if you like the game even a little bit, you'll have a good time. And that's how I felt the first time I went with Joshua and Garrett to the Street Fighter championship.
The Capcom Cup?
The Capcom Cup. And
Capcom Cup?
I had been to competitions before, but I've never been to one for Street Fighter, so I was not super interested. But because there was so much going on and everyone was so excited and there was so much hype involved, it was a fun experience for me. Now, imagine if I would have actually been into Street Fighter, it would have been times 10. So I think that'll help a lot, just to go see if it's even something you maybe want to get involved with. But if where there's a will, there's a way. There's definitely an outlet for your enthusiasm for those games if you want to find it.
Yeah, and even when you're going to different conventions, whether it be Anime Expo, E3, or Comic-Con, now that these games are getting bigger, like Marvel vs. Capcom, Dragon Ball Fighters, or Fighter Z, however you want to say it, they actually have stations where you can play, and you're just checking out the game, having a good time, and even then talking to the person next to you or talking to the developer that happens to be standing there answering cool questions you may have. That's one small way to get involved. And what kind of ties to that, my last thing is, play the game. Even if you suck it, you never touch the game. Get a feel for the controls, like get it hands on, be in that moment. If you're a little bit more into that, play online against people that might be better, or enter a little local tournament. Get in the atmosphere. Cause like you said, Johnny, you like Street Fighter, but you're not like heavily into it. You wouldn't watch it competitively. You won't even watch other people play it on a stream. But when you're in that environment, all the hype surrounds you, you really get immersed in it. Even if you don't like, you're like, this just looks cool. Everybody is really enjoying it. Like Garrett's not really a one to like scream and chant and cheer and yeah, go, yeah. But he lost his voice after that tournament. He could not talk for like 4 days.
It was fun.
And he didn't expect to be like at that level of excitement. So it's really easy to get into, but it's hard to commit to. But if you commit and just kind of stick with it, it's really good for the long haul.
So some of you out there thinking, what the heck, Johnny? Like, I don't live in an urban area. I live in, Masaku, Mississippi, like just some, 200 person town or whatever.
Is that a place?
I just made up a random town. Podunk Town,
Damn,
Ohio.
Mississippi.
Like, you live in some random place where there's not a large urban area. There's
no Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you may not have great Wi-Fi. And you're thinking, I can't just easily find a group. I guarantee you that if you post it out there, and of course, be safe, don't be dumb about it, protect yourself. But if you go on Reddit, if you go on places where people are looking and talking about the games, and you post that you want to create a community, you will find people in your community that want to play this game with you. You will find a group of people, guaranteed.
Yeah. So quick little story. Be safe if you do it. So my buddy Robert, he was looking on Craigslist because everything's on Craigslist, and he was just kind of searching. Like at the time it was Marvel vs. Capcom 3 when it came out, looking for players, and someone had posted, hey, we're having, looking for people that are playing. They kind of played online a little bit because, kind of create those borders. And then the dude was local. He was like 20 minutes away. Jeremy, he got invited, or Robert was invited, and there they played a couple games. And then down the line, that's how we ended up meeting Frank, who I went to Evo with. And now we're like really good friends. So that is a small community that you build, or you just meet one person or two people here. Very similar to how you have all your friends through Overwatch and, Destiny, Chandler. And it just grows from there. You never know. But yeah, be safe if you end up reaching out like that. But it's definitely go out there. And sometimes you have to put yourself out there to really build that community.
I'm really glad that didn't turn into a horror story. That's what I was expecting.
I wouldn't share that horror story here. I'm trying to promote, not really.
Yeah, if you do ever meet anyone on Reddit or Code, just meet someone with other people
in
or
a public area.
place. Yeah, protect yourself. So
real quick, probably the easiest way to get into a game, and it's not 100% the only way to do it, but you want to get into a fighting game near its release. You don't want to come in months later where people already learned the game, they already learned techniques and everything, and you're going to go in there, you're going to go online, and you're going to have a rough time. You kind of want to do it when everyone's at the same level. That's the best time to do it. I'm not saying that's the only way to do it, but that's probably the best way to get into a new fighting game.
You say bad time, I couldn't help but think of that South Park joke. You want a pizza instead of French fry, you're going to have a bad time.
You jump in 4 months later, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you're going to have a bad time.
I think that's if you just want to play online, but if you're looking to just get into it, I mean, the reason why they have Evo, and the biggest thing that I think happened was Street Fighter and Smash Brothers was on not only ESPN2, but also Disney XD.
Yeah.
To expand to a TV cable network is huge for the FGC right now. And to be on Disney, no less, I can see like Smash Brothers being able to reach out to kids. Everybody knows those characters.
Yeah.
Kids know those characters. And then Street Fighter is despite what people say about Street Fighter 5, it is still probably the most hyped and most exciting game to watch at a high professional level.
So to get into a game that's established, I mean, we don't want to discourage anybody from getting into a game that's established, of course. And I think the best way to go into that is like I approach Overwatch, and it's measure your own performance, right? What did you do last time? If you play online and you're getting your butt handed to you on Injustice, what did you do last time? Did you land a good string combo this time? Like even just one.
Yeah.
if you didn't land any of the previous round, that's a good thing because these are people who are established players in this community. You land a full combo, and I mean, you're doing good.
Right.
You meet a burn where you're not supposed to, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah. That brings up a good point. We won't get too heavy into like training, but yeah, that's how you learn how to play the game. And to kind of tag on one of our online friends, Born Free. Is it at Born Free?
Yeah,
I forget his Twitter handle. I'm pretty sure it's at Born Free. Josh was checking.
What a friend.
One of the things he talked about in one of his I don't know. One of the things he talked about in his YouTube videos is that he plays a lot of Street Fighter and he's learning a new character, a new technique, and he goes online and he's trying to do that technique, but it's new to him. So he's playing and he loses and the assault rises. He gets angry. So now instead of trying to play for the combo and learning that thing, he's playing to try and win. And instead he's got to remind himself, just getting the combo off is my win. So that's a really good point.
At Born Free Tweets.
There we go. At Born Free Tweets. I knew there's something at the end. That's what we have to talk about with the gaming tournament section, and Joshua, maybe better luck next year, buddy.
Yeah, hopefully you guys can go next year. Hopefully life doesn't hit you as hard. You just had a baby, so family stuff. One last thing I want to say. We're just talking about fighting games because I just came back from Evo. You can do this with any game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Speedrunning community is huge, and they just break games and they do it as fast as they can
all the time.
There's communities. I mean, anytime you go to a convention, how many people have a 3DS for Street Pass?
Everybody.
Yeah, exactly. It can be any one little thing. I mean, you could just have an interest in one simple thing, and that brings you together. So.
I met people from Japan.
Every time.
Yeah, so don't hold yourself back. If you like something and you see somebody out there that likes it too, talk to them about it.
Yep. All right, guys. So the speed run. So every week we're going to break down 10 news stories and fun facts that just didn't quite make the list for a full segment. We've got 1 minute per topic before we move on to the next. Finished or not, we got to go fast.
I'm back.
In the speed run.
That had nothing to do with speed.
No.
Did you come?
I came back.
Quickly?
So Atari announces a new console that will play new games with current gen-like hardware and also have a vast Atari digital games library.
So
Is Atari coming back?
this is both interesting and kind of like they gotta wow some people. Like after being gone for so long, what are you coming with?
I mean, the console looks nice and like a little sleek, little wood finish, but like what's Atari going to do in the current gaming console age?
Palm.
I mean, as far as Atari-like games, the mobile games are already emulating things that Atari has done in the past with iPhones, which are way more powerful than any Atari console was ever, with updated graphics.
Yeah, but is this going to be an emulation? It looks like they're trying to create brand new content. We already have 3 consoles.
Right. I guess it depends on what they're trying to do. If they're trying to make a full-on $299 type, console to compete with Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo, no. If this is going to be like an NES Classic type thing where it's
Plug
$50,
and play.
Yeah, with a bunch of like 100 games from Atari, great. But
I mean, they've already done that a couple times, but this, like, they're advertising console, so we shall see.
yeah, I don't know what they're going to do, but
Next.
Kingdom Hearts 3 director Tetsuya Nomura says the game won't be considered for Switch until after it's released on Xbox One and PS4.
No surprise.
just put the game out. Just make the
we
game.
got a release date, though, Johnny.
End of 2018.
You were very critical about that last week.
Just because they've been saying things like this for the longest
We've
time.
never gotten a
We
date.
didn't even talk about the new world that was
Toy Story World?
man. Toy Story World.
It
is
looks
really
like Toy
cool.
Story. It literally does. And you have block figured Sora.
Just real quick, I saw something on Reddit. It was just a picture of Sora talking to Woody and Buzz, and Sora's like, "All right, we got to stop, and we got to find Riku and stop Xemnas." And then Woody's just like, "You are a toy." That's so good. What are you talking about, man? Just be Andy's plaything or whatever, So I'm curious to see. I think we already have found out that this is set in Andy's time. This Toy Story World will be set with Andy.
They're in Andy's room.
Okay, so there's that. Back to it being on the Switch. That would next.
I was gonna say, these are long minutes.
The creators behind the Super Smash Bros. Brawl mod, Project M, have their own studio called Wave Dash Games. Oh wow! And are developing a platform fighting game identical to Smash Bros. Titled Icons Combat Arena, a free-to-play game that will that will be updated alongside player and fan feedback.
So Johnny had a little spoiler alert earlier, but
Yeah, I talked about this a little bit earlier in the podcast.
yeah, it
but
is called Wave Dash Games, which is kind of clever.
Spoiler alert.
I think this is going to be excellent. I've seen gameplay for this, and I think the beta is already up. If you can try to get in it, you could try it.
2D models, 3D models?
It's
Are you
like-
doing sprites?
It,
It's like-
it literally looks like 3DS Smash Brothers.
Yeah, it's Smash Brothers.
Okay.
I like this a lot.
Stage platforms,
They are going
hanging
to
on the edge.
They're going to
Sorry.
do great things with this.
Yeah,
I mean, one can only hope. Free to play is
Dodging
always
rolls.
good. That's and
Well, remember that these aren't new guys to this. These guys took the worst game out of all the Smash Bros. Games, the Wii version, and they made it,
excellent.
excellent. So
They
these
ma-
guys know what they're doing.
That was so close to Melee. Like
I miss Samus being able to change
Reskins.
beams. That was so cool.
it was. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a Smash clone. So free to play, always, and then microtransactions. You can do whatever you want, or someone could be like, "Hey, we want to add you to our studio," and then they start doing other stuff with other people.
I mean, the characters got to be interesting. They got to be compelling. If people don't care about the next,
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite reveals 4 new additional characters to the roster: Spider-Man, Frank West, Nemesis, and Hagar.
Spider Sting,
And you left out one character.
Who's the other one?
Gamora. Wait, no, we knew her.
Well, never mind. Scratch that.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I think
Edit that out.
can't edit out speedrun. So far, they haven't added anything like really very new.
That's what is kind of worrying people.
Gamora looks awesome.
Jeddah
Yeah, Jetta's from
from Darkstalkers.
Jetta and Gamora. They had a gameplay reveal at Evo, but the other characters we announced. are not.
That's my issue with this game is that Capcom is bringing in characters we've already had before, and Marvel's just bringing in anyone from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's no one's taking a chance. No one's
No
taking a
newness.
risk for something new.
Have you guys tried the demo?
I have.
Did you like it?
No.
Ooh.
I didn't play the demo on the downloaded demo, but I did play it at Evo, and every time they have a new build, it gets better.
Okay.
Comic-Con had a brand new build.
I am hearing it's better. The demo that came next.
Nintendo's developer, the Pokemon Company, shuts down Minecraft mods that allowed you to capture Pokemon and fight against other players in the Minecraft world. Surprisingly, this mod had been around for several years and is just now getting shut down.
I mean, Nintendo is aggressively pursuing anything third party. I mean, when we had no tracking in Pokemon Go, they shut that down. I mean, the monetization, they're really going after things like this that obviously the fans want, and they're not providing. And they're gonna, I think they're gonna lose revenue, and where they're already hurting compared to Sony and Microsoft.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe the Switch will turn around for them. That's 100% yet to be seen until the end of this year, but I don't like this from Nintendo. This isn't hurting them.
Well,
this
it's
is not hurting them.
It's not really Nintendo. I mean, Pokemon Company is its own
separate,
thing,
yeah.
so you can't really pull Nintendo into this specific scenario.
But Nintendo has exhibited the same behavior.
Yeah,
Of course.
I'm sure Nintendo probably played a part in saying like, "Hey, this needs to be taken
Yeah,
care
you need
of."
to take it down.
Right,
Pokemon Company, take a look at this.
right, exactly. Like, hey, get this off of there. You work with us. This is a property that we pay money for. Take care. And I don't like that. Like it. I can see if, like you said, it was pulling money away from them, but this is not hurting them.
Next.
The upcoming live-action Aladdin film has its 3 main actors cast. Aladdin will be played by Min Masood, TV series Open Heart Jack Ryan. Jasmine will be played by Naomi Scott, Saban's Power Rangers, and Will Smith will be playing the genie. For me, I mean, to follow up Robin Williams, it can't be Will Smith. He's not that type of eccentric, funny, over the top. It needs to be somebody else.
I agree that it's not going to be up to Robin Williams.
Nobody.
Yeah.
But you could get closer than Will Smith.
It's going to be not. It's not going to be a different kind of genie, but it's going to be done differently. It's not going to be wacky, just impressions left and right. It's going to be, he'll still be funny. It's still going to be comedy. I think Will Smith is not the perfect cast, but I do think he's a good choice.
I think Kevin Hart would be better.
I don't think so.
Here's what I think. I think that, like you said, no one can get close to Robin Williams. Don't even try. Make it a whole different genie.
That's probably what they're doing.
Yeah, don't make him eccentric. Maybe make him sarcastic or something a little bit more downplayed even, or maybe like downplayed with little bits of upburst. But he can't be that like super fire, like just throwing things, zany kind of stuff. It's not going to work.
I don't imagine he will be. Next. ID's Doom game is getting a nice update. Update 6.66 adds few tweaks to the online, but also completely scraps the season pass, making all the DLC free for everyone.
People played this for something other than the story?
Yeah, it has actually a pretty decent following for the multiplayer. It's actually pretty good.
I was unaware.
Didn't know it had
Yeah, I
multiplayer.
played it. You get worked.
I've heard nothing but good stuff about the story. Like, that's all I've ever heard about Doom.
Oh, Doom is
just the
awesome.
story.
I'm more so upset for the people that bought a season pass and then everyone else gets it for free now.
Ooh.
'Cause you waited
I'm sure
a
they'll
year.
reimburse. Or
Nope.
they'll either reimburse or they'll give them something extra.
I hope
Highly
so.
doubt it.
Because if I spent $30 to $50 and then a year and a half later they just say it's
Yeah.
free for everybody,
Well, maybe
That's
they release
crazy.
more story and say if you bought a season pass, you get it for free.
that might be cool. But yeah,
How would you compensate people that purchased something a year ago for a game that you're now pushing free content?
some sort of loot boxes or extra weapons or skins like that.
Yeah.
Everyone else has to buy something like that.
It would have to be. Or maybe another one of their games they'll just kind of have a download code for, or something else that ID's done.
I don't know. Like they didn't do that for what, DC Online, right?
No, their
Or
season pass is still alive.
Or Evolve.
Next.
AMC's The Walking Dead. Season 8 will air October 22nd and coincides with the 100th episode.
Are people still watching this?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm halfway into season 6 and I haven't caught up, so
Well,
maybe it's time
Have
to
they
catch
left the prison yet?
Wow.
up. Yeah,
they
4
left
seasons
the prison, this guy.
ago.
I mean, this is cool, but I don't know. Like, they got to do something drastic. They're just still continuing to follow the comics, which I love the comics, but do something new.
I was
and
just
different.
going to ask, is it still following the comics?
Very much so.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you say do something new, but then there's people that have read Game of Thrones, and they're angry that it's going away from the book or something like that.
No,
so-
they've passed the book. The problem with Game of Thrones is that we've been waiting patiently for the books, and the show's
way past the
the
books,
books.
yeah.
That's the problem. If they went a different route and ignored the book, that'd be fine.
That's not the show's fault.
We can't get the books. So,
Any input, Chandler? He's like, I don't watch Walking Dead.
but I am
Or
interested
Game of
to
Thrones.
see. Oh no!
Okay,
Love
well,
both.
one of those you got to fix. I'm going to let next.
Anime.
They just
okay.
announced season 2.
Lionsgate Films brings you another game. The 8th installment in the Saw series, titled Jigsaw, will debut October, right before Halloween. It has been 7 years since the release of Saw 7.
Wanna play a game?
People still
Kind of
watching
played
this?
out, I think.
Yeah, I don't think we needed another one of these. It's kind of like Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
Well,
Oy.
not necessarily, because Saw did come out every year for almost 7 straight years, and then you make one movie way down the line to see if it draws people back. Which this takes, I think, 10 years after the last movie.
I don't think we need this either. I didn't like them after like number 2.
I didn't watch the 7th one.
2 was
You watched the other 6?
Yeah, I did.
You stayed on a lot longer than I think all of us combined.
Yeah,
I tried. I only got up to 3.
They're not that great.
Which
man.
one's the one with the kid in the safe?
Like the first one?
that's the
Second one.
no, that's the
That's
first
the
one.
first.
That's not the first
No,
one.
it's the second one.
Sorry,
Yeah,
second-
It's the
shut
second
up.
one.
I know my Saw's up to 3.
Second one.
I do see another Saw game in the mix. Not you want to play a game, but like Xbox One.
Oh, a Saw
download, yeah, video game.
Because they made 2.
Yeah, they've
about
made
this.
next.
One of the rarest NES games in the world, Stadium Events, was recently sold on eBay. It was factory sealed and sold for just under $42,000.
This just in. Stadium Events is going to be on the NES Classic 2.
No way.
Wouldn't that be funny though? Some guy spends 42 grand and it's, oh, here it is.
This
But I
is
don't think it's the fact that he wanted the game for play.
no, it's collection.
I know.
purposes.
It's a joke, Johnny, all right?
Sorry.
So the company that made this game ended up doing a recall on it, and what happened was a bunch of them got recalled, but the ones that stayed out in the wild, they got super expensive because they're super rare. And this title is one of the rarest titles, like DuckTales 2, Chip 'n Dale 2, Panic Restaurant, and it's hard enough to see just the card itself. The card itself goes for like 15 grand.
It's crazy. How much money must you have to buy this? Why?
What do you do?
Collectors, completionists.
What's your job, man?
Do you
Nothing.
Do you know why it was recalled?
They were gonna rename it because it got renamed to Track and Field 2.
I have that game.
Yeah, so
It's not as expensive.
I think the company
Or rare.
they got merged or something like that, so they had to recall them.
And
All right, guys. Well, that is our speedrun for this week. Hopefully you enjoyed the topics, and we will see you in the speedrun next week. All right, guys. So our final game segment, Name That Game. So every week, one host picks 3 games from the pantheon of titles and makes sets of clues for each that lead to that game and that game only. Try and beat us as we play Name That Game.
I've been waiting to do this for some time.
All right. Well, hopefully everyone is ready. I had a nice, easy win against my little sis last week. So hopefully this is good against you guys.
Yep. You know how this works, Chandler? Cool.
All right. All right. Game number 1, gentlemen. A rejected test subject.
Manhunt.
I'm going to pass.
Pass.
Spin your way to rescue your girlfriend.
Crash Bandicoot.
Boom.
We can answer out of turn.
Yeah, you can do
Oh,
it.
okay. I had it as soon as he said it.
No,
Damn.
just you get
All right.
one. You can answer when you have it, but you only get one
I thought
per
it was round.
hint.
Sorry, dude. You said you knew the rules.
Leave him alone. Dang.
All right, so we got 0 Joshua, 1 Johnny, 0 Chandler. But don't worry, because you can win if you get zeros, apparently. Next game. Every system owner had this game.
Wii Sports.
Boom!
Dang it, dude. That was...
Right off the bat. Wow. Next one was it.
Ironically, we just talked about it.
Next hint was it may have cost you a new TV.
All right, here we go.
All right. That's 1 Joshua. 0 Johnny. Oh, no, 1 Johnny. 0 Chandler. All right, next game. Zombies.
Left 4 Dead.
Pass.
Dead Rising.
Boom.
Dang it.
Dang.
I didn't want to...
Running back again. I hope you have an extra question.
Now, seeing
I
this,
just want to point out this is another tie.
Yeah.
seeing this come up, I did get another game. I only have one other game because no matter what, this decides the winner.
Okay.
Sudden death.
Here we go.
Rolling around at the speed of sound.
Sonic Adventure 2.
Damn.
He got it?
You got it.
Dang it, man.
Rolling around at the speed of sound.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
Got places to go.
Got to follow my rainbow.
I have no clue what they're doing.
City Escape, bro.
Oh, man. That was on GameCube. That was probably why
Dreamcast.
I didn't have a Dreamcast or a
It's a
GameCube.
great
I only
game.
owned real consoles.
Really good. Wow.
I've never owned a Nintendo console.
Good for you. There's only,
No?
There's only a few good ones, sir.
That's why it went to Joshua then.
Yep. All right. Well, you are the Name the Game champion, Joshua. So welcome back and good job on your win.
Thanks. I told you I'm bringing back that tournament experience.
Yeah, you are. You're coming back with some fire under
I
your
would have
belt.
won trivia had I not hosted it.
Man. That's yet to be seen. Well, hopefully you guys did as well in Name the Game, and we will see you next week and next week's Name That Game. All right. So listener mail. So this is just listener mail. There's no explanation, you guys. You know how listener mail goes. All right. So Chandler, we'll have you read electronic mail number 1.
You mean Chandler didn't write in this time?
No,
No,
not
I,
this time.
I didn't. That would have been funny.
Read your own email.
This one, Johnny. Don't worry, I got this.
Now, before you start, this is a response to our last 2 weeks ago? Last week's.
Yeah,
last week's.
last week.
Last week's listener question. What Super Nintendo game would you put on the Super NES Classic that is not already on there?
Alrighty, so Bode says, I would have really liked Chrono Trigger to be on the SNES Mini, but I can see they have a few other RPGs in there. I was super surprised that Super Bomberman wasn't in there, though. That is one of the most fun games on the console, and I felt it should have made it over a couple of other titles.
I love Super Bomberman. I didn't play it a lot, but it's super fun because it's multiplayer. And there's not a lot of multiplayer games on the SNES. Mario Kart.
Did Super Bomberman have it where, like, if you're playing, well, I suppose at that time it was only up to 2 people.
I don't
No,
know
you
if it was
could use a
Super Bomberman
multi-tap.
or Super Bomberman 2 where they had like a multi-tap where
They
you
had
could
a
go up to 4.
multi-tap for...
Yeah, SNES had a
Wow,
multi-tap.
Did I know that? Does it have it where when you die in the game, you can go around the level, still throwing bombs in there to mess with everybody else?
That's
No,
the
that-
64 version.
Well, I'm sure it's been in multiples.
Well, it's been in the Switch version now.
Because it's been on, like, the TurboGrafx version as well.
Wow. I don't know that for sure, but this would have been great because they really don't have a lot of multiplayer games they've put on that console. So
Is it just Mario Kart that's multiplayer?
Donkey Kong, well, technically Donkey Kong
Like
Country.
not co-op, but like multiplayer against or
competitive.
competitively. Yeah.
Is the SNES Mini going to have online play?
No, it won't.
I mean,
It'll just-
then even more reason why they should have multiplayer games, because
Yeah.
they're only...
And
they're going to be
comes-
hard to find.
Right.
comes with
People are
2
going to want to play it.
controllers.
You're going to want to play with your friends.
Right. Yeah, I think they dropped the ball there a little bit. So
This is the reason why we don't have couch co-op. No, and we missed it in our segment. Right?
This is why we can't have nice things.
SNES Classic is why we can't do it.
okay, I don't think email 2 goes.
Well,
into,
do we have our?
yeah, I was checking to see if email
sorry.
2 talked about it. He doesn't.
My bad.
So okay, titles that I think should have been on the SNES Classic. I honestly don't know. Like,
Someone didn't have a Super Nintendo.
I did have a Super Nintendo,
Bum, bum, ba-dum.
but I had one. But I think they had a good list, to be honest. Maybe. I don't know.
No?
You guys got anything?
Okay.
Perfect list for Johnny.
I got at least 2.
You just get one.
I'm gonna go ahead and do one and then an honorable mention.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Everybody gets one.
Killer Instinct. I said before that was my first introduction into the Super Nintendo. Thanks, Dad. Got me that cool bundle with killer cuts. But that was a really fun game. It's a fighting game, so automatically you already have a game that you can already, play with someone else in couch co-op and have it back and forth and all that. And then my honorable mention is Goof Troop. This Goof Troop game. It was a lot of fun by Capcom.
Got to do it.
All right. Yeah.
Every time.
What do you got?
Tetris Attack.
Okay.
Probably my favorite puzzle game of all
Is that
time.
a fighting game?
No.
Where L block fights 7 block?
It's just a different kind of Tetris, bro.
Have you played Pokemon
My
Puzzle
money's
League?
on Square.
Uh,
T? No, T block. Always T block.
stop. have you played Pokemon Puzzle League?
He has not.
Maybe. I don't know.
Pokemon Puzzle League is
Probably
pretty much
not.
a reincarnation of Tetris Attack with Pokemon themes.
Okay.
So I played on the Game Boy, never really played on the Super Nintendo in the full bright revamped color version, but it's still great. It holds up really well, and I think that should be on there because we need more puzzle games. We need more thinkers
All right.
in the games.
Oh, do you have any? Yeah, same thing. I didn't
No,
have.
you
I
never-
didn't own one.
yeah,
I
you
got
never
to
had
play
one.
like a little bit of a game, POW, where you're a prisoner of war, and I ended up playing it much later on an emulator, and it was still so hard. As a kid, I could never get past, I got past the first stage a couple times, but it was difficult.
Probably not going to make it onto the SNES. minute
No.
Pow.
then. All right, Joshua. Well, in honor of you returning, we'll have you go ahead and knock out email number 2.
Ooh. All right, this one's from Carla. Carla says, you guys talk about playing Super Smash Brothers a lot, so I've got a question. If you had to pick one character to play for the rest of your days, who would it be? I'm curious to see what your answer is, Johnny, because you refuse to
I already know his
supposedly play your number one character.
It's Peach.
Pooch.
You're gonna get it, sir. It's not her name. Yeah, if I had to play one character, the entire thing is Peach.
Yeah, Josh.
Yes!
Ua.
Get him!
You really
Get him.
doing this?
Get him!
You're not supposed to side with him or me. You're supposed to be neutral, like Garrett.
Garrett's not neutral.
He is right now.
He's all about himself.
Yeah, that's very true.
Wow.
So what's
I'm a generous lover.
wow? What are we talking
Rename our
about?
podcast Attack of the Show.
So what would your guys be?
Joshua?
No, ladies first.
Damn. Ouch. All right. Well, Johnny knows. Johnny knows my answer.
I already know.
Woohoo!
If it was for the rest of my days, I love Falco, but when it gets right down to it, money's on the line, or that's the only character I can play. Gotta go with the old short Italian plumber.
Luigi?
Short one. The
Wario?
short Italian plumber.
Wario?
I don't think Wario's a plumber.
Waluigi?
I doubt he's one too.
All right, Mario.
Mario.
Okay.
Mario's my guy.
All right. Joshua?
So I've played a bunch of characters over the last several months. So who do you guys real quick think that I would pick? I already have my pick.
I think if it was 2 weeks ago, it'd be Villager. I think now it's probably Yoshi.
Okay. So you think I would be a troll?
Honestly, with more time and more training,
This guy's got it.
Villager.
He doesn't got it. I think I could
Kirby.
really be good with Villager. No, it'd be Ness.
Oh.
Still a big Ness
Yeah,
fan. Just
yeah.
love that character. There's definitely a lot of weakness to him depending on the matchups.
Your Ness did spank me that one round.
Yeah, you were getting a little mad, but
Little bit.
you always kind of came up at the end of that match. But
I was going to bring that up.
that's okay. I admit losing sometimes, but you gotta. I don't know the
You
quote.
got to lose to win?
Yeah, something like that.
So I know you don't play a lot of the Wii U. Anything
No,
in
what
particular?
I played of Super Smash, probably Kirby, because he was just easiest to survive on, and it's just fun sucking people in and just
Shooting them
messing
out.
with them.
Yeah. 2 trolls in the building.
That was Johnny's reasoning at the tournament at our old job. There was a Smash Brothers tournament. I'm gonna be Kirby because I can fly back up anytime.
Yep.
Didn't work because you know.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, those are our emails this week. We thank you for emailing us, and we appreciate you chatting with us. If you've got any topics or things you want to discuss with us by email, reach out to us at contact@scspodcast.net. All right, so next week's listener question. Chandler, you had a good one.
All right, so next week's listener question will be, if you could have any video game vehicle in real life, what would you choose and why?
I feel we're gonna have some Twisted Metal fans email us.
I hope not. That's just pure destruction and mayhem, man.
That is up your alley, Johnny. You're always talking about destruction in the real world.
I don't know. But that's a good one. So yeah, let us know what vehicle you guys would choose and why. You can contact us by email, contact@scspodcast.net, or on Twitter @SuperCoopSquad. All right, so passing the controller. What's going on with us outside the world of the podcast? So for myself, I just actually had my anniversary. So yesterday was my anniversary.
Yay.
Thank you.
It's the same as a certain other anniversary as well.
Yeah, it's the same day as, I believe, is it Harry Potter's birthday?
I don't know.
Just kidding.
That's my birthday.
Yeah. No, it was Joshua's birthday the same
Asshole. Thank you. Yeah, so it's always a debate whether we celebrate your
day. There's no
anniversary.
debate. My anniversary trumps your birthday, dude. I'm sorry.
I'm not important.
Not compared to my anniversary?
Nobody pays me in gum.
No. So that was a lot of fun. We just hung out and, had spent some time together, played some board games. At the end of the night, went to one of her favorite restaurants, which is Boiling Crab, and
Nice.
just killed it on, big giant crab and shrimp and
Pointless.
it's so good. I love seafoods. That was awesome. Today we took a little guy, not that he knows what's going on, I suppose, but to the science museum in LA. That was really cool, just seeing all this NASA stuff and all this stuff with nature and evolution. It was really cool. And he looked around a lot. I don't know if he knows what's happening, but
He doesn't.
He seemed to enjoy himself. So that was fun. So yeah, it's a good weekend for me, and then back to work tomorrow. That's me. All right. So Chandler, I'm going to give you.
Wait, I'm sorry. I have to interrupt. I want to know what you got last week.
I got a solid black PS1 controller.
Oh yeah,
Nice. The one that didn't
one that
exist.
doesn't
Yeah, the one that
exist.
didn't
Yeah.
exist. It's not a real controller.
Nice job, Bray.
So yeah, thanks, Bray. My sister gave me a fake controller. All right, so
Buy
Chandler,
it, Ross.
I am gonna give you. Let's see. I'm gonna give you the. Okay, I'm gonna give you the custom Xbox One Elite controller. Something I haven't even made yet. It's gonna be the one that you can design the colors on, much like you can do the design at Xbox now with the regular controllers. It's coming. I know it's gonna come. You're getting a prototype.
Man, that's a nice controller.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so I've just been actually hijacking my buddy's PS4. I go over to his house about once a week and play Horizon Zero Dawn. He's too lazy to play it. He
So
plays
good.
Crash and other games and works on music and stuff and Roller Coaster Tycoon. So what's up, Mark, if you're listening?
Yep.
But I go over to his house once a week and play some Horizon Zero Dawn so we can watch the story unfold. And then, as I stated earlier in my intro, Overwatch is my go-to along with Path of Exile. They're going to be coming out with a new expansion that goes through one playthrough, 10 acts. It's just such a good action RPG, top-down.
Have you played as Doomfist any?
I did play Doomfist a little bit on the PTR,
You part? Oh, that
and
was my
he plays a
question.
lot like Genji.
You part of the PTR?
Well, on PC.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do
only
have
on
it
PC.
on of course, on
Nice.
PC. But yeah, he plays more like a Genji.
huh?
Yeah, he's super divey, close quarters, on top of your opponents. It's pretty fun.
Okay.
But I'm just still partial to my Mercy. And
Mercy is
Yeah.
better.
yeah, I've actually picked up Zarya. And
She's fun.
She is
She's
fun, but you really have to know how to use her.
A bad Zarya's gonna have a bad time.
But anyways, today I worked some overtime, so got that money going back to work as well.
Got that
bright and
paper,
early
paper.
tomorrow.
Yep. So very cool. All right. Very nice.
So now you have to give Garrett a controller.
Yeah, finally, not a
could be-
crap one.
I've given you some good ones.
It could be a good one. It could be a bad one.
him anything.
It could be a made-up one.
I'm gonna give you a custom designed scuff that I sent in because scuffs are better than the Xbox One Elite controllers. Sorry, but I'm gonna give you a custom designed scuff that is Samus themed.
Wow.
He knows you,
He does.
and he does like those scuff controllers.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna play with this. All right.
Very good. Very good.
Let's see. So for me, just get out the way, Overwatch this Thursday, I believe, Doomfist will officially be released on console. Mm-hmm. So finally, I'll have the chance to play Doomfist, and it should be fun. Had a fun weekend. I finally watched, this movie was released 40 years ago or something like that. I finally watched, 50 years ago. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah, you're pretty behind on that, but that's okay.
I'm the good one.
I finally got to, I kind of just had an itch. I want to watch more Westerns or something like that. Maybe play some Red Dead now. But, that was a really good movie. That was really good. There's this scene at the end, that just involves a rock and a name. That's all I'm going to say about it. That had me at the edge of my seat. Like, I'm breathing hard. Like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And it just took so long. The suspense. Everyone's looking at each other. Ooh, that's that scene.
The top keeps spinning.
But, so that was that was a good time.
All right.
Other than that, play a little bit of Crash and still playing Injustice, loving up those characters. I'm going down the list alphabetically. I'm at Cheetah now. So I'm just going to play Cheetah till she's level 20, then move on to, I think next is Deadshot. Dark Side. There we go. Yeah, that'll be fun.
All right.
And that is pretty much me. Overwatch, Injustice, and a little bit of Crash.
Is Crash as hard as people are saying it is?
So it's not so much that it's hard, like as in difficult, I guess. It's that they changed how he moves. Just the movement is different. Yeah. And that's what's really throwing off a lot of people. Why people playing Crash now are like, well, I could have easily done this jump, 5 years ago or 10 years ago. A while ago. Wow, no, 20 years ago. Yeah, probably. Jeez. Like so it's fun, looks great, sounds great. Just got to get used to the jumping, which is a big part of Crash Bandicoot, apparently.
Anytime you do a crazy HD update like that, you have to compensate to make up for it.
Yeah. All right, that's me. Joshua, sir.
See?
I'm going to get you. Got this cool controller. It's not really a controller, actually. What it is it's one of those, I forget the names, but it's $100, I think, maybe more. Officially licensed Microsoft steering wheel. Yeah.
So you can drive back from Evo.
Does it come with a clutch pedal?
Does come with a clutch pedal.
Sweet.
Yeah, so you're all geared up, get in that chair and drive.
It comes with a chair too?
Does not. I've seen in your room, you have a chair already.
Yeah.
So I knew I didn't have to buy you a chair.
Nice. Appreciate it. Not a fan of driving games specifically, but I will use it and steer my way into the next victory. So I'm back from Evo. You guys already heard. Had a bunch of fun. Grand finals. I was there at 7:45. Tournament started at 8 in the morning. Street Fighter at the end ended at about 11. So it was about, almost 14 hours of me sitting and watching video. The thing is about that suck is you have to go buy food all day, and food is expensive. That's a thing. So I'm back to work, back to reality. I'm looking forward to kicking somebody's butt in Smash Brothers today. I had my birthday yesterday, spent some time with some friends last night after work because I had to work on my birthday. And now I have tomorrow off so I can stay up all late and celebrate with you guys.
Must be nice.
I brought you guys a couple gifts back. So got you guys a couple little stuffed animals, a couple posters. I took a couple plushies, posters, and I got a couple Evo jackets as well.
Nice.
Joshua's such a Tweety.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about.
It's Tweety Bird, but I don't know what else I got out of that. I'm trying to dedicate my time now to finishing a game before I move on to a next.
Good luck.
Right now I'm finishing Fire Emblem.
Nice.
I haven't touched that game in probably 2 months.
Echoes?
Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia on the 3DS. I just remembered today I have like 5 3DSs because I have all the Zelda themed ones.
Yes, you do.
That random thought.
There's someone on here who's hating you, not only because you have all these collector's edition consoles, but because you have 5 3DSs. What the heck? First world problems much, sir?
Collector? No, there's no problems here.
Sorry. I have 4, but whatever. It's all the same. Other than that, that's pretty much it. My next game, I don't know what my next game is going to be. I want to pick up Splatoon, but I probably won't play it.
Splatoon.
Yeah, I want to play Injustice when Starfire comes out. Probably not going to play it.
Okay.
The Smash Amiibos came out on Friday.
Yes, I picked up Cloud and I ordered Player 2 Corrin and player 2 Bayo. So I'm very excited.
Nice. Speaking of which, did you see grand finals for Smash Brothers?
I did not.
Do you know who won?
Hungry Box?
No, Smash Brothers, Smash 4. What character? Zero didn't win. Zero was in grand finals. Yeah. But Bayo won.
Woo! My girl.
Yeah, which is crazy. No one expected that to happen.
She's crazy.
Yep. So, I'll see y'all next week. Good to be back. Johnny, you're going to get an exclusive Xbox One controller because you like your Xbox One.
A lot of Microsoft stuff going around.
Yeah, well, it was a Microsoft themed trivia and whatnot. You're going to get an exclusive Evolution 2017 Xbox One controller.
Nice. Okay.
Have you seen my PS4 controller?
I haven't.
I have an Evo PS4 controller
That's
I got
awesome.
last year.
Okay.
It's from Chaos Freak. They're pricey, so you're getting that.
Thank you, man. You came back all generous and cool.
Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
If you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you.
All right.
But next year we're celebrating my birthday on your anniversary.
We're not, but okay. All right, guys. Well, that is our show for this week. We appreciate you listening to us every week. We got a lot of options for podcasts and gaming podcasts. Hope you had a lot of fun. I know we did. Chandler, thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you, sir.
Man.
Absolutely good to be here.
Yeah.
Look forward to whenever I can make it back.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was cool, and had some epic trivia and some name the games, man. So that was not scripted. Just so you guys know, it was not scripted.
No, it was
I was
not.
really trying to win both of those, and I'm happy to say I lost both. But yeah, guys, thank you for listening, and we'll see you guys next week. You can reach me on Twitter at JohnnyMac24.
You can reach me at Twitter at GJL3275.
And of course, you can see me at Joshua_4_life.
And we'll see you guys next week. I'm Johnny Mac.
I'm Chandler.
I'm Garrett.
I'm Joshua.